What you're about to see next is literally the original call that started all this. We were going to build a Paramount Pictures new studio on the grounds of Pineywood School campus. You know, America's oldest, one of them, private black boarding schools, until Legacy Green and Wealth took that away. Will Crossley, President and CEO, former Chief Counsel for the Democratic National Committee, will do most of the talking after I do the intro. Stay tuned.
It is fearlessness that enables us to put ideas into practice. One must be willing to go against the majority and be content to stand alone. It's a fearlessness for something bigger than you. I always thought about the good things in life. And I wish I could go back to that point where it was only good and never reality happening. Nothing else created this unit building, literally building by hand. And all of that was around self-sustainability. The farm was what was sustaining them. Y'all remember like a year back, I was like, I want to go to Piney, and then y'all was like, you better be ready. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a good day for real. I got braid. We got braid. Every day I look at this thing, look back to myself, what am I really doing? And sometimes I just get lost in like what's happened. You make one mistake, now you're that mistake for the rest of your life. Let me be the mistake in peace. Many of our young people, they're searching for their place in the world. They want to be saved. There's still power in our education. It's a way of proving people wrong. It's a way of showing myself that I can do better than what I was told tonight. Right. Long sucker. Tell me what it means. It means to like stick it out, stick it through, like to long suffer is to like stick with a thing. What would be the legacy of the school if, unfortunately, we had to close? That's just not an option. Or it's the epitome of resilience and hope and all that good stuff. And you can't take that away.
Mm,
Pressure's on now, boys.
watch what you say.
No,
Oh.
you don't have to.
Is there AI on this too? There's like an AI bot
Right,
somewhere
right.
around here.
So I'm gonna get CJ, and if everybody can hit mute and go off screen, and then I'm gonna ask certain people to come on camera. I want it completely dark, please. Except for Mr. Will Crossley, Piney Academy, and Jay Ivy. Mr. Money Penny also get on camera. We got George, Jerry Easter, Robert Ruffler. Hang on. Don't worry. Money's gonna show up before this is over. I gotta see what's going on. Dana, Johnny, Bex. Pastor Payne, will you get on, please? And also the beautiful Carlina, Denzel Whitaker, McLean, stay on. Hey, Zeke, can you turn your camera off, please? For right now. Eric Woods, you're on camera. Judah Johnson, you on camera. Who's iPhone 64? Let's see, Drew Spanning. Maisha Riley, can you turn on your... This has been a lot to coordinate, so just bear with me, guys. Garson Silvers, Archer. And mind you, I've already been in touch today with Malka and CJ.
Yesterday, some public news got announced while I was at church, but it brought us forward. And I don't know if CJ might be on here, so I'm trying to see what with these iPhone names because everyone's so indescriptive.
I think someone's maybe not muted. It sounds like there's some feedback.
I mean, try my camera because I had to pull over on the side of the road because I'm doing so much at the same time. Manny, will you get on camera? Archer. He's listening. I'm gonna name my biography. Nobody would listen because that's what it's felt like at points. And I'm not being rude. Will, while I could keep going through and I'm just gonna text people directly, Mr. Crossley, because I don't want to waste any more time. And you, Jay Ivy, and I can speak directly with CJ after this call based on the conversations we've had today. I've walked quite the road to bring all these people together. And it's been incredibly challenging at times. My beard has become a lot more grayer. I literally woke up today with a broken left toe. Well, that happened 3 days ago on my left foot. And then my right foot yesterday, I stubbed it because I've been wearing these slippers because I couldn't wear shoes. Then I had a scab on my right hand. And then my left fingernail started bleeding. And I'm not comparing myself to anybody. I'm talking about my own life right now because I've gone through hell to literally bring all these people together. And on this Zoom, I used to be really emotional. I cry all the time too, and I've gotten that under control. But on this Zoom is my pastor, who I sat in a room with last summer after I wanted to take my own life on June 2nd of last year. And I walked quite the road of self-work to on January 21st get baptized. And then 2 months later, February, March, 3 months later in a day, I think Will Crossley and I shook hands with Larry Franco, who I don't know if he's on this call or not, because 22 years ago, 2004, 2021, I met a man by the name of Jay Ivy, who was on the brink of ultimately reaching global stardom. A couple years ago, we reconnected on the night that he and I reconnected over the course of a very long time. And he told me he was going to go off and he was going to campaign and had been campaigning for years to get the Recording Academy to basically create a category that didn't have him with people that weren't necessarily poets. And I was so inspired that night after reconnecting him and RZA together after Jay. How many years was it?
20 something.
Reconnected them after 20 years where there were cameras all around filming us then, just like there were when I was a 19-year-old kid. And since that night, Genius, the documentary on one of the greatest minds of all time as an artist, Kanye West, got released, got nominated for awards. And after that night that Jay Ivy and I reconnected, he went on to win 3 Grammy Awards in the last 2 years, including helping the entire Tennessee State University marching band as well win one. And his wife's family has roots in Mississippi. And I got introduced purely through God by President Will Crossley. And Will, if you can send this new link to Dean, I've been driving, I haven't had time. And then I'm going to stop talking and let you, sir, Will, let everybody know what we shook hands on and partnered on with the vision that gave us thousands of acres to change the world with the vision that you already have been overseeing that's been around for literally 115 years, 1 year older than Paramount, which publicly yesterday, I was part of a group, which I'm not part of the press release. I didn't even know it was going to happen, but timing's everything, that led an $8.6 billion bid to the table in a better capacity for all the shareholders than David and Larry Ellison. I'm done talking. I want everybody to listen to Will Crossley. And moving forward, it's days, minutes, hours, not weeks, months, or years. So God bless. I'm turning my camera off. I need to get a drink. And Will, the floor is yours, and Jay Ivy, and I'll chime in if I need to.
Yes, so good afternoon, good evening. My name is Will Crossley. I'm president and CEO here at Piney School. Will, thank you so much for creating this opportunity. for us to share our work with so many people. Piney Woods is, as Will indicated, a long-standing institution. In fact, at the time that we were founded, there were over 100 institutions similar to ours, all directed at moving young people forward to advance in the post-secondary work where possible. Sometimes it included trades, sometimes it included college. And it makes us actually the longest serving such program in this nation, the longest historically Black such program in this nation. And our work is both simple and really, really complicated. And I say that because what we really do is leadership for young people. And so we say in our mission, Piney Woods prepares leaders for tomorrow's challenges by empowering learners, preparing leaders by empowering learners. And this is just really key to all of our work. We at the time that we were founded, there was a debate going on in the country about whether folks would side with W.E.B. Du Bois's sort of talented 10th academic approach, or side with Booker T. Washington's Tuskegee work.
It's saying connecting, so I'm just.
Hey, can everyone mute if you don't mind, please?
Or side with Booker T. Washington's Tuskegee approach of vocational approach to education and to science. Interestingly enough, when we've done the research and the work, we discovered that we decided at that time that we would forego deciding to go to one side or another of that. That in fact, we believed, and I still believe, that that was a false dichotomy. That was a false choice that we put people forward. The fact is that we think we need both. We need that and more. And so we talk about educating the head, the hands, and the heart, educating the whole child. And so that includes vocational things that we do here on our campus, and it includes educating a person cognitively. And so we think about our young people being able to do three things at least: think critically, but also creatively and constructively. And so it's through all of that lens that we're able to do this work today. In terms of our educational philosophy, the shift that we've made on that is one that also has been core to our founding. So Piney Woods, founded in the days of Jim Crow segregation in the Deep South, right? To educate Black kids when it was practically illegal to do so. In some ways, we've been bucking the standard, the status quo, and the standard expectations since that time, and we're trying to do it again. Our work now is putting aside the kind of rote memorization approach to education. I know that's the kind of education I went through. Perhaps many others on this call have gone through that kind of an education, and really moved to an education that focuses on young people learning through discovery. And we think that if young people if we discover alongside them, that's education they will have for life. I remember in school myself when we would learn about things in biology and they would write on the blackboard. Now it's a whiteboard or a smart board. Maybe some of those things I remember, maybe some of them I wouldn't. But the day when they took us to a farm and showed us a pig being dissected because the pig had died and they wanted to make sure that other pigs were not infected with the same disease, showing us a pig that was dissected and pointing out the parts of the pig that were similar to parts of the human body. That's an experience that I've never forgotten. I can't tell you a lot more of what happened in my biology class, but I can tell you about that experience because it was one of discovery. And so that's what we try to do with young people here every single day at Piney Woods. A few years back, when Piney Woods was trying to find its way into the future, we looked at things we'd done in our past. We've always been a place that was sustainable. And so in the earliest days, we started growing our own food so that when people came here to be educated from far away, they could live here, but they could also be sustained here. And so we started growing our own food. We still grow some of our own food in our gardens on our land. We have our own water system. It's a rural water system that we run and operate. And so we are actually about to build our fourth well on this property. We have a well dedicated to our farm and gardens, and we have 2 wells on our main campus for drinking water. We have our own sewer and sanitation system. So we process the water that we use and we treat it so that it goes back to the soil in a productive and environmental manner. And we thought, why aren't we producing more of our own power? So we started a solar array so that we can produce power for our campus, that we can live sustainably with the environment and with our neighbors. And so we do that as a practice, as an organization. But what's more, we use that platform as one of discovery for our young people. And so our young people learn about being sustainable, not just as an environmental exercise, but as a way of life. And that's the work that we have. That's work we've continued to do through all that time, and the work that we're still doing. Today. Fundamentally, what we do on this farm, we started with 40 acres that were donated to us. Today, we have over 2,000 acres in our holding. That includes a 250-acre demonstration farm that our young people have a direct hand in helping to run. That includes a farmer's market that we're standing up that our young people will run it. And we're doing this in a food desert here in rural Mississippi. It's a uncommon thing in an uncommon place. But so are our young people. They come here from the state of Mississippi, from around the nation and around the world. And so I have young people from across this state, but also from Atlanta and from Los Angeles and from New York and from Baltimore. But I also have young people from Rwanda and from Ethiopia and from South Africa and from the United Kingdom and the British Virgin Islands and on Brazil and more. So so we convene in this space, and we convene young people in this space, and quite frankly, they learn as much as they learn from each other as they do from all of us adults who are learning with them and who are helping them to facilitate this and to learn in this kind of a process. And so that just gives you some idea of some of the work that we're doing on our campus. All of our young people reside here on campus with us. And it literally is a process of learning through discovery that we do alongside the young people who we hope to benefit. I'll just finish, Will, with just a glimpse of my own story. This work has been a complete honor for me because I'm a product of this space. I had the pleasure of going to some great universities in this country, Harvard and the University of Chicago and the University of Virginia. I had the pleasure of practicing law in Washington, D.C., and working for President Obama and representing the Obama campaign and more. And I left DC to come do this work because none of that would have been possible if Piney Woods had not been possible in my life. So I grew up initially on the south side of Chicago in not the best of circumstances. We'll have to talk about that at another time. But I got a scholarship to come to this institution at the age of 12 years old. And it was an experience that changed my life and set me on a whole new trajectory. So when the opportunity came to do this work for future generations of young people, I was determined that this work would continue and that we would come and continue to invite young people to this unique and sacred space here in rural Mississippi. And that's what we've been able to do. When I arrived, it was projected that this place would close in a year. But God had other plans about how this would happen. And so I am now on year 11 for a place that was written off a decade ago. And it's not by my doing, it's simply through my obedience that we continue to be able to create opportunities for young people coming from this state and around the world. And if God says the same, we will do this for the next 115 years right here in rural Piney Woods, Mississippi. So that's who we are. That's a little bit about what we do. It's a little bit about who I am. And I'm privileged just to be able to serve here. Will, you can talk a little bit about some of the other aspects of our work, but that's the foundation on which all of this can be laid.
Thank you for that. I want to keep it focused on education. We have no time limit on this Zoom. I may have to move outside soon. But Maisha Riley, I sat next to you and we had a conversation at Pastor Cedric's son's graduation, or not graduation. It was Pastor Cedric. What was that event that I came to with you guys where Cyrus was performing at Long Beach State? It's regardless. Maisha, please take the floor and talk about what you've done and you shared with me that day. And I said, I need to introduce you to Mr. Crossley, which I did, I believe, back in April.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have actually, I owned a charter school for some time. And in that process, we were really focused on the whole child as well. I really liked hearing that Will's vision was empowering learners. Mine was too, it was empowering learners to lead. So very similar in that aspect, but we were more of a one-to-one school, focusing on everyone having computers and being able to use technology to advance curriculum and advance themselves in a variety of ways. The last 5 years, I have spent most of my time in a virtual program through arts and entertainment, introducing students to the arts and the entertainment world through virtual learning, and then providing them with opportunities to connect to partnerships. So we have students who are learning to cook online. They receive boxes much like HelloFresh. They learn to cook with those things. I really am interested in taking that farm to table aspect and utilizing that online as well. It's just another way of introducing students to sustainable life. In addition to that, I've taken students where not just cooking, but also film and garage band, taking that to a whole nother level with music and incorporating different, I'm really about partnerships. So taking building partnerships with different communities, with different businesses, and then bringing that into the classroom so that students meet people, whether that's somebody who is flying a plane and they do simulations, whether that is a female mentoring or a male mentoring program. It's really about access, giving students access to every opportunity for them to grow and for them to build on things that they love. It could be gaming. It's so many out there that students are interested in, and it really is taking technology to a different level and being able to utilize that to grow students and to allow them to know that there are opportunities for them in every aspect of life. Um, Will and I had this conversation, and I don't even know how many things we talked about. I have such a broad vision of what Piney Woods can be from, I mean, 115 years is that's a testimony. And so taking that to the next 115 years when none of us will be here, but the legacy that is being created right now will and continue. That's the vision that I see, and the activity that I plan to, help with this structure, in so many different ways.
Thank you for that. Manny, sir, our super math scientist and now producer writer. Will you follow up with some of the vision we've talked about since you've been my school education, brain trust, and big picture with Maisha? Divine masculine and divine feminine, man.
Good thing. Thank you, Will, for bringing all these people together. It's super interesting. Just like quick, I'll be quick a bit about my background. So as Will alluded to, I was a mathematician. I was a college professor. I studied math and physics, and then I was teaching at the State University of New York up until about 7 years ago when I changed careers and jumped from academia into entertainment and have been producing ever since. I'm the creator of multiple original science series and just very, very passionate about the ways in which new media, new technology are going to change how education works, how people learn science, and so just very curious to see what can be possible here as we take an innovative approach and just have an open mind towards the future of education.
And I want to add, it's, I led this together, right, through the foundation of entertainment, but it's not, the movies are a thing that become educational tools now moving forward with what we're going to do with what Mr. Sanders does as an architect, Archer, everybody else. The Jim Still, who I don't know if he's on here, he and I are finishing the full overview. So I just want to take a minute to keep flowing on some of this as it relates to education. 1 second. Okay, there we go. I want to share a little bit about some of the pieces to make this function. Jay, will you, sorry, I'm losing, there's Jim. Jim, sorry, I was seeing if you were on here or not, sir. Will you talk about some of, just so everyone can see the size and scope of literally what, regardless of your religious beliefs from a spiritual standpoint with whoever or however we end up on this earth, I straight up have been given IP that's in a kind of unfathomable category, which is how I knew something was going on when in March I had about 30 projects and now it's literally hundreds and none of it's been me. It's just been brought forward. And then everybody in this with the relationships pretty much makes it the biggest entertainment ecosystem in the world. And Sydney and I, who I don't know if she's on here, had a dream, my business partner for the last 7 years, of building a haven to where it wasn't controlled by corporate America, but friends and family and relationships. And God literally connected that together. So I've spoken to multiple VC partners over the last 3 months, obviously, and being part of a deal to buy a studio, regardless of how that worked out. I've been connected and already was through numerous people involved in that directly to David Ellison, who my partner and I, David Walmark, spent the last 3 years kind of in back and forth conversations on the McQueen IP in order to develop it as a limited series. So we got positioned, Jay Ivy and I, over the course of 22 years at the highest of levels in our each individual fields of music and film, the yin and yang of entertainment. And then I was gifted through my brother, Dean Hadley, who I met through my landlord of my building, who also happened to be longtime friends of somebody who made a movie called Passion of the Christ. And I didn't know any of these things, except I communicated recently about it. So I wanted to get started by bringing everybody on here, and thank you for the time, because there's so many people doing literal like global work in areas that have nothing to do with film. And so I think what we found out in COVID, right, were the things that still made the world go around for survival. I want to segue a little out of education for a minute. to Mr. Isaac Moneypenny, since Jay, I don't know how much you and Isaac got to interact, but just I want to do introductions with everybody to start this. Obviously, we're going to have more conversations. I do have VC partners on this call that already connected stuff together. So this is the start of something that I hope leads into a retreat where I feel like seeing is believing. So now that this group is together, we should be able to step forward into the time when that's going to happen. I don't know what that date is. I'm not in control of it. I've never actually been in control of the money. Whoever put me in this earth has. It took a long time to understand that, but I go to a church called Alondra, where some of those members are on this, like I've been saying, and that place is a sanctuary on this earth that got me to open my eyes. Jason Gilmore, who literally baptized me, who literally introduced me to the Easter family from Toledo, Ohio. Jerry Easter's on this call, and Jordan Frost. Jerry and Jordan, could you guys speak up real quick, kind of about what this path has been? And also, Jerry, if you'll share a little bit about your background so everyone can see how the universe has worked on kind of some of the waters that you were in throughout the early 90s, and how when we met, you wanted to step back into, and also based on the pathway that your young, incredible son is heading towards next year, and kind of what's going on right now. Because what nobody knows publicly was when we announced our company, The Big Picture, the only deal that we had legally papered until I started putting all this together at Post Cutthroat City, we're producing a TV series with Spring Hill Entertainment, which is a company owned by LeBron and Maverick Carter, based on the book The Ticket Out, written by Michael Sokoloff. And it's about Darryl Strawberry and Crenshaw High School. And we've been developing that with LeBron's company for the last 3 years. And Big Jerry's known LeBron since, I mean, he could speak to this, but I think since he was a little kid running around on basketball courts in Ohio. So again, I'm going to stay quiet now. I got to set up the intros. Big Jerry, will you please take it over? And then Rasta Phil, sir, you're next. Or Jordan Frost, if Jerry's unoccupied right now, inoccupied.
Yeah, I don't know what Jerry's doing, but yeah, I'm Jordan Frost. I've been pretty much doing the documentary on his son for like past 4 or 5 years. And I'm from Ohio originally, based out in the Las Vegas area now. I lived in LA for 10 years. And just kind of helping little Big Jerry navigate his son through all this kind of craziness with him being a top basketball recruit in colleges and NIL and all this madness that's going on now. Big Jerry, I don't know what he's doing, but he has a pretty extensive entrepreneurial background. He was the A&R for Mike Tyson's music record label back in the early 2000s, owned a few pizza companies, all type of stuff. So I don't know if he can't get on because his phone's muted or not, but that's just kind of, we met Will through Jason Gilmore, who's also from Ohio. He's from our same hometown. He's the one that's writing The Ticket Out or whatever. And yeah, we kind of been rocking Will for like 3 years now and just trying to help build up the collective. So
thank you, Frost. And Jerry will talk at some point. Mr. Rasta Phil, who, when God granted me with you in my life, who's been so incredible behind the scenes to empower me to be able to have real conversations about your brothers and where you come from, most of which I've met. And I'd love for you to talk just real quick about what the path is and how you kept trying to connect me with people building schools all over the world, sir. Think you're on mute, Rasta. Hang on. There you go. He'll troubleshoot it. Give him a second. We got to have a little comment.
Yeah.
There we go. There you go, sir. Continue. We can hear you.
Just so you guys know, I'm originally from Trinidad, born. I came to America when I was 17 years old, 16. I grew up with like New Edition, all those guys. I started with Maurice Starr. We did the Johnson Crew shit, Johnson Crew with the Space Cowboy, with the Spacey Jeans, right? And then we started with New Edition, Bobby Brown and them. You know what I'm saying? And after Bobby Brown, we started New Kids on the Block. And after New Kids on the Block, I started Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. I was the one who gave him good vibration. I knew Mark since he was 14 years old, a kid from the street. We grew up together. So I've been traveling the world with him and we've been doing a lot of stuff together. So most of the times I'm representing him, but a lot of people don't know. I'm the one who brought everybody around him from his management across the board. Because all of them used to come up on me during the music times when we was doing good vibration. But the only one I have a lot of respect for is Steven Levenstein. Because he's a guy who said, boy, I'll make your boy a superstar. Trust me, he's already acting when he's doing this music stuff. And the late Dick Scott used to say, don't have them boys around Marky. You know what I'm saying? But Alan Heyman and all of them guys used to come up on me. But I've been in Canada. I put Drake's song in Entourage. That's our show, Entourage, all the stuff we did, Warburgers, all the way across. I bring all Mark's brands to Canada. Right now I'm here doing his municipal brand up here. And then I connected with some people who's working with autistic kids. He bought a school. You know what I mean? So I want to work with him. I want to bring a lot of celebrities like my friends Jimmy Butler, Mark too, to come and help with his school. The guy is just doing it because it's the right thing to do. He don't really know that health area. So I'm helping him a lot. I'm going to put the board together for him and all that kind of stuff. And we connected. You know what I'm saying? So I'm working on a lot of things up here in Canada for the good of the people here too, and helping out my family because my wife and kids and my grandkids are Canadian. All my family still live in Boston. My mom just turned 91 years old. She lives in Boston. All my sisters, all my family live down there. So I'm here to help Will with anything he needs. Anything good, Rastafil is involved with the brand. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm about, helping and changing the world so the kids could get an opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, Rasta, man.
And that's what Rasta is about. And God bless everybody.
And Rasta and I reconnected. I mean, we've been in contact, but on April 23rd, I hit him up about what I was going to drive cross country and try to piece together because my dear friend Chase Cusero is one of the reasons why I had long hair for so many years. He always helped me manage it. But Chase told me kind of what Mark was doing and putting together in Vegas. And I reached out to Rasta, my friend John.
So with that being said, everything I do, Mark Warburg is my partner, silent partner. We do whatever. I'm the one who bring all the deals in. I just got to make sure they're the right deals before I bring him involved. That's all it is.
He's the
But he's always involved with everything I'm doing.
Thank you, brother.
And if I could let you hear a recording. He called me yesterday. When are you coming back? He's pissed off.
Very soon. Very soon.
You know, when are you coming back on the road? And I'm like, dude, I'm still doing what we're doing here. Soon as it's organized and I got all the right people in place, I could leave and then I could throw the ball, you know what I mean? And then he could catch it. You know what I'm saying?
I love you, man.
Because when you're with him, you're in the fire. You got to focus. You know what I mean?
Amen on that. Amen. And I think my Wi-Fi connection might be a little spotty, but we got to keep going because I don't need to talk that much. Denzel Whitaker, can you take the floor and talk about the path since we met on a movie called Submerged? And exactly, you know, what we've talked about since you were a founding member of this and even helped the wonderful Jerry Easter II on getting down to the final five to star as LeBron. And Beck's back there, Rachel and Terrence Winter's biopic Shooting Stars, and talk about kind of what we've been building to support the next generation of athlete with the creative arts and a sustainability future.
Sure thing. Hey everybody, how you doing? Denzel Whitaker here. I've known Will literally, as he just pointed out, way back since we've done the film Submerged. And then we also end up working on Cutthroat City as various other projects that we have a part of the Big Picture Collective. A project that he mentioned with Jason Gilmore earlier, that's something we've had in development and been looking to, film as well. Thank you, Will, for speaking to kind of, my relationship with Jerry Easter Jr. He was up for a LeBron film, which was really cool. And again, it's this interesting things where athletes admire actors and actors admire athletes. And so it's always been this beautiful cross pollination of what we do where, if my skill set is in film and television, and as an actor or a director, I can help, somebody, a young child, just, get their opportunity the same way I've been blessed and had mentors to give me an opportunity in the business. I'm always there to help. So that's one thing that me and Will have always sort of, circled upon is, how do we help not just the team and the people who we love and care about, but also the next generation, foster their young voices, build them up, create better pathways for them, especially as this business continues to progress. Because, one thing's for damn sure, and it's, especially as you look at the pandemic and what the current business is right now, it's not very sustainable. But at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that those with good intentions, those who are good natured, and those who persevere, we overcome any obstacle that's put in front of us. So through faith, through action, we could get it done. That's kind of the motto and the real mantra of the big picture, especially as Will was developing this, and I've always been a family member and part of the big picture as well. That's something we always stood by. So with that being said, hearing the words of Piney Wood and everybody involved in sort of the big vision, especially with helping, the youth, that's something I stand by. That's something I'm prepared to get my hands dirty and really, work together with.
Thank you, D. And just real quick, for those of you, those that aren't familiar with your work, if you can just give some background on how you got to today, because you grew up in this business, and I think that's why I came to you way back when, because you could talk about every side of this same manner I can, going through it even younger as a kid, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, no worries.
A little bit.
Yeah, so I've been in the business for about 24 years, going on 24 years. I got started when I was 10. My first role was Training Day. Thankful to Antoine Fuqua and Denzel for really their mentorship. Went on to star in, a series of different television shows, commercials, series regular and all that on Nickelodeon, and then sort of got my next resurgence within film for the film Great Debaters, which again, Denzel, remembered me from Training Day, went through the entire auditioning process, nothing was handed to me, but his mentorship was invaluable, not only just literally starting my dramatic career as an actor, but also to sort of showing me the light at the end of the tunnel and showing me what's possible even behind the scenes, whether it be editing, directing, writing. And from then on, worked with several other individuals well known within the business. Um, Black Panther was another fan favorite that a lot of people, may have seen me in. Angry Black Girl and a Monster, which just recently came out. So been doing it for quite some time, had lots of experience within this business, and that's why I say, like, the business model has changed quite significantly as somebody who's still actively pursuing, my career, albeit all the success and, wonderful projects I've been a part of. I think we can always make this thing larger.
Thank you, brother. And I'm going to kick it to Mr. Robert Russler to just share some insight. I know you were keeping the flow going while I was trying to get this going. So thank you, partner of mine.
Hi, everybody. My name is Robert Russler. First of all, God bless everybody. And I'm inspired. I feel emotional listening. And I am the co-CEO of the film department of Big Picture Collective, along my brother, Will. Thank you for everybody sharing your time and your energy today. I've been in the movie business 45 years. I've been around it my entire life. I'm 59. I was going to work with my dad when I was a young boy and got to really meet a lot of fantastic people and was inspired by a lot of amazing, iconic people in my life. I started as an actor myself in 84 when I filmed my first movie, Weird Science, directed by John Hughes. I went on to do a string of movies after that. And I plan on bringing a lot of those relationships that I've accumulated over the many years that I've been in the business, and bringing on different mentors of mine, like Sir Anthony Hopkins, Mr. Robert Downey Jr., Josh Brolin, people like that to come and involve themselves in what we're doing for the higher good of the children. I myself am a father of 4, and I've learned so much from my children, and I continue to be a good father, and just like my dad was with me, you know. I've also been able to break the chain in my life from a lot of dysfunction as well. And from that comes power. Through adversity comes triumph. And, you know, just listening to the words, uh, um, Pineywood School is such a great opportunity for us, not only to help kids further their education and also to inspire others to contribute. There's been so much taking going on that, you know, when we all get together and we team up and we utilize all of our relationships and we put together for the greater good. That's what I plan on doing, along with the work that we are doing in television and film and our streaming platform, and bringing on other individuals that I know would be just as inspired and enthusiastic to put their time, energy, and efforts forward. I have family members that could contribute a lot to what this cause is. I have a lot of friends and comrades that I plan on bringing on board for our projects, and also to come and mentor the children physically and in person. I also teach an acting class called the Hollywood Playground on the side. I'm a director, writer, producer, and so what I've been able to do over the last 17 years of teaching at the Hollywood Playground is bring different mentors on to teach the actors from the horse's mouth. And that's what I plan on doing as well. I want to get these individuals involved, bring them on board for projects, and also to come to Pineywood in Mississippi, show up in person, and allow these kids to be able to meet them and ask questions, and realize that it is attainable, that it is a realistic to put your dreams into action. And so I'm excited to be a part of this. We have a fantastic, like a whole plethora of super talented people on this. I'm so impressed, and my wife is so excited that we are involved in this. I love my wife. My wife's my queen, and she and I together, we know that we can contribute a lot, and that whatever it is that we can do to help, whatever we can pack into the stream and bring to the table, that's what I'm here for. And I support what Will's dream is becoming a reality. And once again, I'm just honored and blessed to be here. And if there's any questions, feel free to reach out. We would love to talk more and share the dream more along with you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Robert. I want to throw it to Samuel Harris, please. Sam, can you talk about what we got going on?
Hello. Well, we're glad to be here. I want to thank you, Will, for the invitation. We're here at the ranch in Houston, Texas, and I'm Samuel Harris, along with my son, Jay Xavier. We're here in the office, and we're really excited about the opportunity, as has been shared, about the school and Mr. Crossley and that great work that's taking place there. And as everyone else has spoken, it's for the greater good that we come together. My background is that we did Scarface's record back in 1987 with Lil Troy, and in the industry where we worked with Warner Chappell in publishing with Archie Bell and the Trail, as well as his music recently with Warner Chappell as an administrator with Arthur Big Boy Crudup out of Mississippi. And we have been with the song I Won't Complain by the late Reverend Paul Jones for about 33 years. And I manage Paul and I handle his estate with his mother right now. And so we're excited about what we've done with our children. My son is a rapper and actor, and did My Super Sweet 16, the movie with MTV. He traveled, toured with Chris Brown and Lil Wayne, and recorded with George Clinton, worked with Yao Ming, raps in Mandarin Chinese. And so we had a great time over in China. But with the Jacksons piece, we're really excited about what we've been able to accomplish. I speak on behalf of my partner, Don Bennett, that's in New Jersey, and with the Jackson 5 television show that was done in 1976 and 77 with CBS. Don and I go way back and coming together as a management team for the brand of this Vaquero collection. We thank God for that because Don worked for Sony for 16 years. And he's a marketing guru. And he's retired now and he's ready to take what we have now to the platforms of how music is today. So you can imagine having a TV show of the Jackson 5. When Michael was 17 years old, they recorded all of the hits that were back in the day, such as I'll Be There, Ben, Never Can Say Goodbye. This has all been digitized from master reel. To go in the studio and hear Michael solo on a track is very, very interesting. But to know that we have the capability, similar to what Justin Timberlake did with the song that he collaborated with Michael after his passing, we have the opportunity with that. And this was all approved by the courts. This is already in the Library of Congress for the TV show that was featured Ed McMahon, Betty White, Red Fox, Sonny Bono, several celebrities that would come on the show, and all the brothers as well as the sisters, even Janet when she was a little girl, Rebe, LaToya. This was a variety show that had also memorabilia. That was the largest collection on the Jackson 5, as well as video footage and pictures that the world has never seen. And so we have that at the younger years of Michael, we call the Holy Grail, which is the age of innocency before any accusations. And we're not part of the derogatory part. We're here to preserve a legacy. And so with that, also with the present piece and the IP of Sir Brent Livingston Strong's catalog and memorabilia as Michael's partner in Michael's later years, that as we were dealing with the lawyers on today, just making sure we can keep things intact and in a proper perspective and being represented the right way. This is Michael's work that has an evaluation of intellectual property rights of about $500 million, and the memorabilia and artwork valued at $400 million, which is about $1 billion. And so we have this packaged together to where we can bring this to the table. And as Will is leading us, where we can touch the world by way of the platforms with music, with remixes, with television shows, dealing with releases of downloads in all territories of the world, whereby we can have a humanitarian arm, not just to Piney Point, but to so many other charitable organizations. It would be great if we had it going now. We could go right into Carolina, where they're being devastated right now, and cause them to get back on their feet. And so those are the things that as we.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, man. The other night when I
Yes.
was putting all this together, where I came from got eviscerated by a hurricane as well. Ironic that my last movie was about a hurricane, but keep going, Samuel. And then I would like for Archer.
Well,
Keep going.
yeah, but in closing, I've been a pastor. I've been a pastor for several years, 30 years now. And as we've been involved here in Houston, George Foreman and I, we came out of the same church. I was saved back in 1980. And I pastor on the south side. George Foreman pastors on the north side of Houston. And we've been involved in housing homeless men and women and individuals that are coming out of prison where they can be restored back to life. So I'm a product of prison. Back at 19 years old, I faced 12 years. Tried to sell a little dope, but it didn't work out. But God arrested me. I thought it was the police that arrested me, but it was God. He arrested me at a young age, and so I never will regret. And David said it was good that I was afflicted. So that concept and that issue that happened to me, it was for my good. So by the grace of God, I just turned 63, and I'm one of the happiest men in the world. My son, my daughter, she wrote for Whitney Houston, Keisha Cole, Monica, and SWV. My namesake Sam III is a working musician, does about 150 shows a year in Chicago, and I believe my brother up in Chicago, Jay Ivey, he knows Sam Trump, now Sam Thousand. And so we thank God for his great career as well, Jay Ivey. So that's my spiel. We're just here to serve. We're just here to serve, not getting away, but bring our gifts and talents. I talked to the attorney today on Brett's behalf, and when they said I was a breath of fresh air to them, that really blessed me, because I believe in this business. We don't have time for egos and arguing and fussing. I believe in getting to the table and let's get the deal done and let's go forward. God bless you.
Thank you for that, Reverend. That's the last time I'll say it, Samuel. You've been telling me to keep it short and sweet, but
just call me Sam.
if we can kick it over to Archer. Archer, can you talk about our partnership and how we came together after I showed up and told you I was trying to buy a film studio with you as a real estate developer and visionary architect?
Absolutely. Let me start off by saying, Will, thank you very much for your thoughtful presentation. It was really nice hearing about the history of Pineywood. And you can, anytime you need any of my service, I'm an architect developer. So if you need any help with drawings to submit to the city, said you're doing a new solar array. If there's any way I can help, please reach out. I'm sure Will can share my email with you. So yes, I'm an architect and developer. I grew up overseas in Latin America mostly. I came to the States, moved to LA. I was a touring musician for about 10 years and then went back to school for architecture. For the last 4 years, I've been in Joshua Tree, managing the build and the design and build of the largest luxury vacation rental portfolio out here. We're also building a hotel and a motel and a few other commercial structures. Right now, I've purchased a piece of land in La Paz, Baja California Sur. It's beautiful, beachfront, 1,000 feet of virgin white sand on a crystal blue cove. It's really amazing, and we're going to be building a wellness resort there. 20 hotel units, villas and residences, along with a spa and restaurant. And I partnered with Will on that project about 2 months ago. And now we're looking at another piece of beautiful property down there where we're hoping to build a movie studio. And one of the main reasons for that is that La Paz is opening up a flight route to Los Angeles. So there'll be direct flights to and from Los Angeles that are only 2 hours long. And the Mexican film industry is growing quite a bit right now. So it's a good time to take advantage of that.
Thank you, Archer. Sorry, guys, I'm mobile and on the move. Mr. Judah Johnson, and then I'm going to kick it to Christine Sclafani. Will you talk, Judah, about just some of your background, sir, in the hospitality space, and just kind of how you've been involved in various aspects that correlate really nice as it relates to what we're going to do in La Paz that Archer was just talking about from the conversations we've had briefly over the last 2 months?
Oh, yes. Can you hear me right now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Judah Johnson. I've actually been in the restaurant business, I would say officially since 2010, when me and my brother and my partner, we opened up Gold Sports Cafe in West Hollywood. And after that, I went into helping out with some clubs in the nightlife like Warwick and the infamous One Oak and some places like that. So I basically have developed most of my time in facilitating the needs of celebrities as well as just people that are in town looking for one great night in LA. And the great thing about having those two things going on is they kind of feed each other. So one helps the other. And in doing that, I've had the opportunity to meet tons of wonderful people like Will, which I was able to host recently at my restaurant. And as of the last 3 years, me and my brother, right after the pandemic kind of closed up our sports cafe, we were blessed enough to be able to kind of open more of a high cuisine restaurant in Santa Monica, Brentwood area called Jonah's Kitchen. And one of our goals is to, bring amazing food to people that is really of value, that's healthy, and you're really getting a great environment and a bang for your buck. And so when Will told me that one of his goals was to bring younger people awareness that would allow them to reach some of their goals, I thought to myself that we could make a good connection and bring in some of the people that I know that are influential to the table, so where we can start some kind of program, which he's already been working on. And the Piney Hills place sounds like a great headquarters and launch spot. So it all seemed very interesting to me. And I'm more than excited to get involved with a group of like-minded people who are goal-orientated about doing something creative that can help out, younger people in the world in those ways. So look forward to helping in any kind of way. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Judah, we're not going to name drop it for privacy reasons. I didn't mean for Ross to talk about it, but Judah, I mean, if you want to share some insight just around some of the sets you've been on without naming names as it correlates to Hollywood with what we're going to do with the hotel and also the studio from an impact standpoint with kids, based on some of the circles that we overlapped on.
You're definitely, I'm comfortable with you sharing whatever you need to share in order for us to be able to get. I mean, I don't claim to be able to obviously influence these people to do exactly what I would love to do.
It's the ecosystem. It's just the ecosystem, which God is going to lead for. Jay, I've been to talk about this all the time. So our relationships, which I'm protective about, when I talk in America where people say that I'm name dropping, I'm not. These are my friends of 20 plus years. It just happens to be they're famous. But if you want to share, who's behind you, because from a standpoint of global impact, Judah's been at the highest of levels. We'll just keep it as that. And he was able to open up, restaurants to actually create change because of the path that he walked down. And so we're going to correlate all that to what we're going to do in La Paz, but then also based on the vision, similar to what Mr. Tyler Perry has done in Atlanta. Those are things Will and I have talked about because they have the acreage of land to do so. So we'll keep it at that, Judah. Thank you, bro, for jumping in too last minute. And maybe we'll get Kevin on one of these at some point.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you. Miss Stevens, I know I sent you the link and you were with Robert. Are you available to get on camera to meet Mr. Will Crossley and share about how you and I met? And I don't know if you're on. There's so many people. Robert, is she there? You're on mute, Robert. I see you talking.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Hi, I'm Tia.
Thank you.
I have a performance arts group of some amazingly talented children from the ages from about 4 to 17. They're graphic design artists, animators. They do some DJing. They do African drum and dance. And we have a radio show that we run in Detroit. But we go back and forth between Detroit to get performances a lot and things of that nature. I would also like to say that I work as a publicist and community liaison. So I do some digital media marketing, event planning, and grant writing. And we met down at Venice Beach when we was with my son's art. My son goes out and he sells art at the beach. And the children drum. I think we had the drums out that day, had some candy, doing fundraisers the day that we met.
Thank you, ma'am. It was literally the last day that I was moving out of Venice Beach. as well. And I was walking with Bex, who had been wanting to rollerblade, and then we walk up on a family rollerblading. And, Miss Stevens said she was from Detroit, which is the same area as Trina Easter, little Jerry's mom. And Christine, just to keep flowing through IP, and I promise, thank you everyone so much for the time. This isn't a normal Zoom call or situation, and I've prepared a long time for this. So I'm gonna keep flowing. I want everybody to get a chance to speak. I know some have had to leave, but we'll keep this going. And then I'm hopefully, I don't know if CJ wants to speak. I'm gonna leave it at that. He can wrap it up. But Christine Scalfani, will you talk about our relationship, how we came together, and the IP that you brought me? That's one of the things that I want to launch all of this with. And your partners are on, by the way, too. I see. Hey, Christine, did you hear me okay? And if not, Christine's partners are here too. I'm just calling if you want to talk, sir, about the amazing movie that
Hey,
you're partner directing.
yeah, absolutely. It's I don't have my video on right now. We had a long shoot all weekend. But yeah, through Christine, my producer, and Dana, we met Will, and we're super excited to get my film Doppelganger, which I also wrote, going. We have, I can say it probably in this room, we have Jay Baruchel, who's from this whole Seth Rogen camp, and Virginia Gardner, who was great in the movie Fall, attached as the leads. And it's about a suicidal, depressed writer who recreates his ex-wife in the image. He uses an AI chatbot to recreate his ex-wife, and she eventually evolves. So it's kind of her meets a Megan kind of story, which has a lot to say about technology and human relationships and where it's going. And for me, it's a statement about it. I don't think it's going in a great place, because I don't think we people are losing the skill of communicating. And it's affecting us. So yeah, super excited to get going with Will about it. We've had some great conversations.
Thank you for that, sir. Mr. Frazen, I wanted to give you a moment to connect with everyone. Kind of also some about what you've created as it relates. And then I want to give Bex an opportunity to talk about the DAO.
Yeah, totally appreciate it. Watch the trailer video. This looks like a super impactful project, and we're all about doing impactful or helping where we can and providing value. My background really isn't in the movie business; it's more working on the movie business and figuring out. Specifically, we're working on using a blockchain to create a more transparent environment for filmmakers, as well as using smart contracts to efficiently distribute film rewards or revenue that's related to this. This allows us to have realistically an infinite number of partners that are defined on blockchain, as opposed to the current industry, which is fraught with creative accounting, as they say. So that's where our focus is. We do have a couple of projects that are sort of similar to this, and just as a personal background, my father was a public defender for 30 years, working in the juvenile court system. And so this, helping kids has always been kind of sort of a core value in my family personally, as well as what my father did professionally. So super excited to jump in where we can. And most of our connections, my brother-in-law is Terrence Winter, who's the writer of Sopranos, Wolf of Wall Street, currently Tulsa King, which is on Paramount. So our sort of connections is deep within the writing room or writing area. And so we're excited to see where our connections can help this project move forward. And I'm located here in California and happy to connect with anyone if anyone has any further questions.
Thank you so much, Josh. And I want to kick it to basically who connected us together properly after meeting through our brother Sean Lydiard, who made Cutthroat City with me. Bex, here, take the laptop, brother.
Hey, how you doing? Hi everybody, how you doing? Bex here from Cape Town. I'm fundamentally in but I've got a production company and I'm in the Web3 space. And I'm I'm a governor at the African Film DAO. And fundamentally, we've got our own token to decentralize the funding vehicles in South Africa, because obviously we found that there was a dire need when it came to facilitating funding to the indigenous storytellers. And subsequently, money never really reaches the people at the bottom. So we came up with this idea with my partners in South Africa, We Arm Enough, and we came up with the African Film DAO, where we tokenize and we have a cap on how many tokens are out there in the community. So give you an example, we will submit like 5 scripts from our decks, and then whoever gets the most tokens within the panel gets their film made, and thus the public has decided. And obviously that cuts out nepotism and favoritism and just a lot of corruption within the South African space. And that being said, that's how we actually got to meet Josh Frazen, who just spoke right now, because he's got the Hollywood land token. And they hit us up, and then one thing led to another. They said, "Wow, we love what you're doing in South Africa in the Web3 space, and then also the decentralization, and then we love what they were doing." So one thing led to another, and boom, we developed a film festival called the Hollywood African Cinema Connect, where we curated 150 filmmakers from all over Africa, Cape Town to Egypt, and then came down to about the top 10, flew them to LA in front of a panel with the Winters, Josh, some prominent distributors, financiers, and obviously that's where I met Will. And it was a great success, and we realized that there was a bridging that we have just created through the Web3 space, and obviously through Hollywood and the Western Cape in South Africa. So where we stand right now is upliftment, and bridging all of the infrastructural attributes that you guys you pretty much have in abundance, and trying to segue it within the African diaspora. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell, guys.
Zulu warrior.
Hola, hola. He brings the comedy and energy too. Hey, Jay Ivy, not that we're wrapping up, because after I'm going to let you talk some, and then I want to open the floor. Those that haven't got to introduce themselves, because some people stay fully off camera, and make sure everyone can talk. Garson, hey, there's Simon. Simon's got to have a big meeting too, so we'll talk about that maybe. But Jay, take the mic, sir, and maybe one little line of poetry. I don't know.
Yeah, so first and foremost, man, it's an honor to be in this room, in this space with so many brilliant minds. Like Will said, we met 20 plus years ago. I didn't know at the time it was his first involvement in entertainment business, but it was an exciting time for me. I was a young poet from Chicago early on. And what's really special about this is early on, when I was in high school, I had my junior English teacher. Her name is Miss Argue. And what I learned is you're not going to argue with somebody named Miss Argue. So Miss Argue, she had the class write a poem for homework, and I wasn't into poetry at the time. I'm a hip hop baby, you know, the MCs were my poets, but as far as like traditional poetry, I wasn't into that. So I go home, I do my homework, I come back the next day expecting to turn in my homework, and Miss Argue, she makes she makes the class read that poem in front of everyone. So I read this, what I thought was a silly little poem, and after class, she pulled me aside, gave me an A on it, and told me I had a nice speaking voice. I had never heard that before. And she said she had a show coming up that she wanted me to be a part of. And I was this shy kid. My folks had recently gone through a divorce. So I was mentally out. In retrospect, I was dealing with a lot. And I didn't do the show, but another show came up, and she made me do this next show. She said, "Last time I asked you to do a show, you faked me out. This time I'm not asking, you have to do it." So she makes me do this show. It was a Black History Month show, February '93. And my first time ever on stage, I received a standing ovation. And my life immediately changed in that moment. And I went from the kid who would, you know, fall to the back, or you know, feel small, or you know, didn't feel like people wanted to didn't feel like anyone was listening, to looking at a room full of people standing up on their feet, clapping for me, and it just gave me so much purpose and pride and hope. So I took that energy and like, Ms. Argy, when's the next show? When's the next show? And I've been doing it ever since. So from the point of February 93 to February of 23, where I was able to receive a Grammy, 30 years later, to the month, I received a Grammy for my poetry. And it was, you know, all because of this teacher, this educator who saw something in me. This is actually a piece of the stage that I performed on. So I was able to take that energy and move forward. I early on, I was on the show Def Poetry. I did 3 seasons of Def Poetry. I was on Kanye's first album. I did a record with Kanye and Jay-Z. Song was called Never Let Me Down. If you ever heard the record, I'm the poet on there. I've done work in the sports world. Me and Will met when I was doing, they had me do 2 shows. One was it was an All-America team show, which was a live performance. And then at the same time, they had me filming the opening for the Orange Bowl when Oklahoma and USC played. So it's Adrian Peterson against Reggie Bush. Yeah, I'm really telling my age because both of them are retired, which is
Me
kind of
too,
crazy.
bro.
It's kind of crazy, but I've done a lot. I mean, I've performed everywhere from the White House to the United Nations to Madison Square Garden, just me doing a halftime show, just me and a microphone performing at the Garden. Um, we won another Grammy this year for my album, The Light Inside. The first one was The Poet Who Sat by the Door, and we also won for the Tennessee State album, the TSU Marching Band, the Urban Hymnal. And and also I'm the guy who gave John Stevens the name John Legend. So we've been part of some moments over the years, but it's all been wrapped around education. It was all about this teacher who saw something in me and pushed me to pursue this dream. And from there, I found myself in a lot of different spaces, whether it's me on stage or me involved with music, or me, I was the lead writer of Genius, the Kanye documentary. I wrote the narration and voice directed that film. So I've been involved in a lot of different spaces as well as education. I'm heavily in the schools. I talk to kids all the time, and give back wherever I can. So, like I said early on, I'm really proud and to be a part of this community, and I feel and see a lot of change will come from this. So yeah, let's go. That's me. Check it out.
Thank you, Jay. Mr. Sanders, my next door neighbor who used to tell me to be quiet on the balcony at night on occasion because I was up doing all this. Will you take the floor and
Sure.
kind of thank you?
Happy to. I wasn't telling you to be quiet. I was telling your roommate to be quiet because she was
Hey,
practicing
she
aria.
created this, man. 27 years old.
She was practicing operatic arias at 4 a.m.
She is always singing.
So this is amazing. This is a wonderful group of people, and thank you, Will, for putting it together. Mr. Crossley, pleasure to meet you and all of the rest of you. It feels like spaces I've been many times in my life. I started out in college, between college and grad school. I went to the Peace Corps in Sierra Leone for a couple of years, teaching in a school there, technical school there. Again, hands, heart, and that mantra has been with me for quite a while. I also then moved to San Francisco, joined the Glide Church Choir, sang gospel for 4 years. Second bass. So if you need a second bass, let me know. I can hit the low notes. But I've been an architect for 1,000 years, and the thing that I love to do and have been trying to do is rather than spend a lot of money, is save a lot of money. And I came up with a way of doing that. We've done a lot of school projects. And one thing that a great example is a concert hall that we did for the school in Idlewild, very close to here. I'm in Venice, Venice Beach. And they needed a world-class music concert hall. It's a fairly serious music school. And so we designed a 300-seat auditorium for them that went up using a prefabricated system that we've come to to call our own the construction strategy we call hybrid construction. And it uses the same technology with steel frames that goes into basic warehouse construction. It's actually genius. It uses recycled steel, it's sustainable and incredibly economical. This 300-seat concert hall that won a ton of awards, actually, should have cost in the neighborhood of $20 million, and it cost $4.3 million. And so Will has been seeing my work for a while and figured that we could lend some of our help to this effort. And we're thrilled to do this specifically in this space, specifically for these people, to empower these folks and empower the group that's here, to share the wealth, to share inspiration in the world. That's what we're all about. Pleased to be here. Thank you.
God bless you, brother. Thanks for
And
showing.
bless you too, Will.
Chase Tootin, the investor of mine in Venice, who initially started all this off. If you'll talk about, I don't get emotional with many, but this guy, way before Cutthroat City, that we're from the same hometown. My mom was friends with his parents. Talk about your father's legacy a little bit, and then you, bro. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. I can't help it. I had to cry once.
What's up, y'all? My name's Chase. Will and I were from the same hometown. His cousin is one of my best friends, and that's actually how he and I met. About 7 years ago, I guess at this point. It all kind of came together, just hanging out and talking crap about football. I grew up a Florida State fan. He's a Florida fan. My dad played for Florida State back in the Bobby Bowden era with, Deion Sanders. So the good old days when they were actually winning games. Then he goes on and he played professional. So I grew up in that realm, kind of realized at a later age than I'd like to admit that it wasn't normal for that type of childhood, which I've come to be very thankful for over the years. About 4 or 5 years ago, Will and I were talking in the parking lot of a Charlie Horse, this ratty old biker bar in Ocala, and he's telling me this dream basically about kind of what this is. Not even this big. It's gotten bigger than he even imagined. And so we're just talking about it, kind of, putting it out there. I guess you could say started manifesting it back then, and then it grew into what it is now. I kind of unknowingly invested in all of this in the very beginning. He needed some help at some point. I had some money from that Dogecoin ramp up back in the day, and I wasn't using it. I figured, hey, why not help out a friend? And then he was generous enough to bring me into this vision, and here we are. I currently teach middle school in Pensacola, Florida. So very, very excited about the Pineywood connection. Sounds like a fabulous school. I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm very thankful to have you as a brother for life, and I'm, it's nice hearing from all y'all as well. And y'all have obviously done way more than I have in this life so far in this realm, but
Chase is gonna be one of the people with Sydney and Carl Reed and Joseph Adafe heading up our animation side, amongst somebody that David Womark is bringing in, who's in Argentina right now. Womark, our producer of Life of Pi, Oscar nominated brother, my partner on McQueen. He'll jump into the next one of these and be with us hopefully when we come all visit Piney Woods together. That's gonna be the next step. Pete Rivera, can you get on and speak about how we met, sir? Because like I always had an observer for everything I pursued. You and I were in the press together yesterday, quietly, without our names being mentioned. Do you want to talk about how we met and kind of a path forward of some of what you could bring to the table, and also the time that you served in Sierra Leone as well?
Sorry, just quick. Sorry, Will, I just got to peace out, man. But this is so amazing, guys. Thank you so much. And I'm connected with you guys soon.
Zeke's my lawyer, and he's awesome. And you all meet him. The floor is yours, Peter. Please.
Hi guys, hope everybody's doing well. Will and I met coming together to figure out how to put together the buying group for Paramount and Paramount Global. At first, it was a little turbulent with some other players that weren't quite on the same page as us, but Will and I really were able to bond on our spirit, yoked from the same essence of serving humanity and wanting to turn brands into brands that really bring us all together. In the process, I told Will that regardless of what happens with Paramount, whether we get there or not, I'm a big Will Clevenger fan regardless, that he's his own Paramount, his own movement, his own essence, his own fire and brimstone to, do some good in this world. So I said, Will, look, no matter what value we have directly or indirectly, with the Paramount deal, we can create a tremendous value with an ecosystem concurrent to the Paramount deal, regardless of the Paramount deal. Well, the Paramount deal just got announced yesterday that we're at the table, but it's going to be a fight, and who knows what's going to happen. And we may not be awarded the bid, but Will Clevenger, make no mistake about it, was an integral, vital part of working with us to help bring together two competing groups into one large group for $8.6 billion that is now being recognized by Axios. And Will Clevenger and myself were vital and integral components of making that historical marker happen. Now, whether the deal goes through or not, nobody can ever take away from Will Clevenger or myself that we did indeed put together the group, the buying group, which is Project Rise Partners. So, all of that being said, we've already climbed one mountain, ready to roll up our sleeves and climb up many more mountains. I come from the space of running large corporations with energy, healthcare, infrastructure, water, waste management, trade, mining, ed tech, education, tech innovation, satellite constellations, CTV streaming, and fintech. And so, I pretty much bring structure and organization, all of those things above. I'm proud to say that we just made history. We are the very first corporation in the history of banking to discover and put together ways and means to transfer trillions of funds from banks to banks around the world in the manners that's very encrypted, safe, um, and we're able to get issuing banks and receiving banks to now send money that are off ledger to be coming into the SWIFT systems, which has never been done before. With all the legacy funds for all the indigenous tribes, which they have literally a lot of backed up money from either lands or minerals or natural resources or even casinos that have just piled up that they have not been able to get into the system for an amalgam of reasons. Some of it was purposeful by the global banking system. But now that everything's going from fiat to off non-fiat, now's the time where they're allowing some of the indigenous nations, tribes, and massive wealth to go into the system. And we've created the only bridge that will get their funds into the system. So we do a lot of tech build outs and we support all the banking systems throughout the world now. And we'll be able to, God willing, be in a position to push Will forward and make his mission and vision come to fruition.
Thank you, Peter. Seriously, for listening, just all the conversations.
I would like to say one thing. I like when he said, Will, you're Paramount. That's the same thing I tell you. Where we own Paramount, brethren. I love that he said that. Okay, brother?
I love you, Rasta. I want to kick it to your partner, Melanie. Miss Feliciano, the floor is yours for some introductions, and then Garson, sir.
Hello. How are you? Sorry, I'm super mom, juggling mom over here. So I just want to thank you guys for bringing me on board here. I've been working pretty closely with Rasta Phil on developing a lot of IP. We have some in post-production, some are in development. And I guess I'll start off saying it all started, I became an on-air radio personality here in New York on 93.5 FM on the Caribbean station. And at that time, everybody thought it was a big deal, but I wasn't too keen on the guests that we would have on from Love and Hip Hop. I felt like it was creating content that was destroying our communities. So after I left the radio a year later, I had a little fan base and they wanted more of me. So I started a show. Start TV stands for Brilliant and Resilient Television, with the quest of producing content that I wanted to teach my viewers, like I only interviewed and had guests on my show that had some kind of trial or tribulation or formula of success so that my viewers can mimic. And with that, I was able to. So I didn't do no celebrity gossip or latest news or current events. I really only featured people who had been through some stuff and had survived and learned that if they took their own life, they wouldn't know how good it would get tomorrow. So also, I know someone there said they come from the institution world, convicted felon, learned my lesson, definitely used to sell drugs, did my time. I beat recidivism. That was in like 2004. I had a 2 to 6. Um, beat recidivism, turned my life around, went on a spiritual path. I became a prison minister with Paula White Ministries in Orlando, Florida, going into institutions, preparing people for what the battles would be awaiting when they got released. Um, so yeah, I do a lot. I landed in the level right now of independent distribution, the Tubi Boom. Have about 90 titles under me on there. And yeah, working with Phil so that I can help him organize his Rolodex of contacts and putting the people in the right rooms together to close deals. He calls me the closer so that we can close deals efficiently and effectively. So yeah, I thank Will for bringing me on board here, and I look forward to being able to continue creating brilliant content and with resilient people.
Thank you so much for that, Melanie. And it's so
Yes.
much, divine masculine and feminine, as
Yes.
Robert talks about, and Sydney and I. Simon, sir, will you talk about how we met, some of what you're doing, your project, and then I know Bossum's in the middle of moving. I'm going to speak for him. So after you, Simon, I'm going to kick it to Steve McNally to just talk about what he does.
Yeah.
As far as educational stuff goes. Take the floor, Simon.
So I met Will through some like really crazy serendipity where he was actually taking a cross country trip across the United States and stayed for a night at my mom's place in Las Vegas, New Mexico. It's an hour outside of Santa Fe. It's a really cool spot, but it's not on most people's radar. And we got connected through my mom, and we started chatting. And it was like, wow, he's working on some crazy stuff. I mean, he's amazing. But told him a bit about me. And I guess before like I say much about what I'm doing now, I think it's worth telling a little bit about my background and like why this stuff is like really meaningful to me. But I have a weird background. I have a really non-traditional educational background. For context, I'm in Silicon Valley. I used to work at Tesla on the self-driving team. I was like the first like AI engineer at this company that's worth $30 billion now. I've like done consulting for like the C-suite at like Fortune 500 companies. I've worked with H&M. I've worked for the DoD. I've worked for FEMA. Like I worked for like Jared Kushner's group and like the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States military. But like I dropped out of school 4 times. I failed everything over and over again. I never thought that I'd go anywhere or do anything. I mean, I tried different schools. It didn't work for me. I hung around people that, none of us felt like we had any position or any future in our lives. I ended up working in nightlife. I helped run a hookah bar, and I thought that my life was just going to go nowhere. And then, I don't know, like something went in me. I got some opportunities. I started going to community college. After like a long, crazy chain of events, I wound up in a PhD program in computational linguistics with no undergraduate degree. Like I just like things had lined up amazingly for my life, but I also, I worked hard for it. But I wound up in Silicon Valley. I wound up at these places that are very traditional. Everyone's MIT and Stanford educated. I was the only person at Tesla without a degree in the applied like research division. And it's just really hard. Like there's the world, there's the straight and narrow path. That's what we expect. But there's so many people that are absolutely incredible and so many circumstances where they just don't get access. And I try to hire preferentially for people with like more non-traditional backgrounds because it's something that I am.
And I really want to see more infrastructure and support around it. Like, especially with STEM, like I know there's so many organizations that just try to like bring up the person who's 15-year-olds and a genius building a particle accelerator in their backyard, but those people have parents and they have a huge support network. And there's so many other people that could do incredible things like that if they had exposure, if they had access, if they had education. And so yeah, it matters a lot. But I'm working with Will on like some of the AI sides of stuff. I'm working on a company that does like generative game content. So we're working on making tools to like make anyone who's making a video game have a full content studio behind them. So we can already create infinite quests and stories, but the hope is that everyone is going to be able to create stories that they think are really engaging, things that like they're passionate about. I ran Dungeons and Dragons for years, and like making storytelling accessible to everyone is something that matters a lot to me. But yeah, I'm deep in Silicon Valley. I'm deep in AI stuff. If anyone ever wants to chat about that, please let me know.
Thank you, sir. McLean, if you're there, since you utilized some of the spaces Simon's in for us to write that brilliant Paramount World overview where you conceived the Paramountain to build in Vegas and Florida, which we're now going to do as Big Picture World. If you will talk about your masters that you're in the middle of finishing up in the next 2 months and kind of how we met and the path that we went on, literally basically cross country together.
Hi.
And then I don't know if Sal's still on, but I saw him earlier, but you could talk about Sal too. 'Cause I know through you.
So yeah, my name is McLean Pleasance. I'm local to Florida, but I've been out to LA helping Will with some of the, I guess, more of the paper, hard document kind of stuff behind Big Picture, um, including the proposal. I don't know if any of you guys read that. It's like a bunch of pages, super long, but it's worth the read. Um, and then yeah, like pitch decks. I use AI tools and stuff to help make those. Right now, I'm getting a master's in business administration with a concentration in data analytics. And yeah, Will and I have been friends for years now. I think going on 5 years. And yeah, I'm just happy to help any way that I can. And, you know, uh, yeah, my specialty, I love editing, writing, stuff like that. So I don't know if there's anything else I should say.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, and Jim Still, you don't have to talk yet, sir, and I know you're going to stay off camera. But you and McLean got a sync to finish the story that we have finalized today, by the way. And I want to make sure we get to everybody. Drew Spanding, sir, I see you still there. Can you talk about who you are, what you do, and the path forward?
Yeah, of course. Hey guys, great to meet everybody. Real quick, I'll be brief. Will asked me to direct the future event that we're all going to be on, and I'm very excited about that in Ocala, Florida. My background is I've been a music festival director for 17 years. And then through that time as a music festival director, I had the privilege of creating a piece of software. And at first, that software was specifically like my own little secret weapon for my music festival to get tickets, really to get fan engagement on a much higher level. And a lot of people liked it, and it worked really well, especially for a pre-sale. So we were able to, kind of 2 to 3x our pre-sale instantly. And so we essentially invented a method of purchasing called crowd pricing. So you've heard of crowdfunding. So we run like a campaign style format for selling tickets, and I've practiced the last 2 years on selling really anything. So I'm creating a sales platform, and the platform is called Price Slide. And so the way it works is essentially people, instead of somebody buying something, they commit to something. And think of it like dynamic pricing, but only for the good. So the more that people commit, price continues to go lower. And at the end of the campaign, whatever the final price is, everybody pays the same final price. And so essentially, it's a really simple way to do fun, discounted type group buying campaigns. And so we're looking to take that to the world. So I got to meet Will through actually his attorney, who you just met, Zeke. And I've had a lot of fun, and just said, hey, I'd love to help anyway. I don't run and direct events anymore, but if you need a guy who can make that happen, I'm happy to be a part of that. And of course, marketing and using crowd pricing any way possible within this collective I'm obviously very interested and wanna pitch in, and great to meet everybody as well.
Thank you for that, sir. Garcia, or actually,
course.
Steve, Mr. McNelly, if you could take the floor, sir.
Hey, William, how you doing, man? Thank you. Hello, everybody. Been brought into this impromptu, so appreciate it. My company, my career, I've been inventing and building unique systems from corporations, stage and lighting, concerts, deep into the U.S. government as well. Invented the video conferencing, a cell phone in 1993 and sold that, and then Forerunner AI patents in 1994 and sold those to Microsoft around 2007. Have been probably have the largest patent base in the world today in glasses-free augmented reality for communications and entertainment. And my the thing I'm most focused on right now is reinventing cinema as we know it. And have brought in a great team of people around this now. And so getting connected with this group and learning about everybody's capabilities and networking is great. And that's what I do for a living. And you can see it at dveholographics.com. And you can see holographic immersion rooms built for the U.S. National Laboratories, just like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with holograms of people walking around in the boardroom, all the way to bringing Stephen Hawking in live from his home in Cambridge to the Sydney Opera House. And all these videos are online to see. So that's what I do.
Thank you so much, sir. Garson, sir, will you talk about your background in real estate? Because I think my brother CJ's still on this, and I want him to hear what you've been doing in LA for 40 years. Mr. Silvers. I know everyone's tired. We're almost.
I'm here. I'm here.
Thank
Hey
you.
guys, y'all want the camera too? Here, I'll put the camera
And
on. I'll go
Garson,
into this.
no pitching
Yes.
your movie. We're making your movie with David Womark. You don't have to.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not pitching my movie. I'm pitching sustainability and
There
education.
we go. I love you.
Today.
Keep going.
And my food security project, we need to build some of these greenhouses with the hydroponic grow towers in them at Pineywood. And I'll show you how to make a lot of food and feed a lot of people and eliminate food deserts anywhere in the world. And you know what I write about, I mean, the movie stuff is fun, but about sustainability and being part of a paradigm shift that needs to happen in this world so everybody eats and has a place to live. And right now, my biggest passion is trying to I have 500 homes, flat packed, ready to be airdropped in Tennessee, Carolinas, and Florida. And winter's coming. It was cold here today. I wore a sweater. So you think it's cold here in Southern California? But it's poor people who don't have homes right now need shelter. So I'm talking reality, not fantasy. I have 500 homes on the ground ready to be airlifted to needy people, and I can bring another 500 every 3 to 4 weeks. So we got to get these people housed. And Pineywood, I want to teach them how to do the hydroponic grow towers, organic nutrients, and climate-controlled greenhouses. This is my passion of the day, my passion of the week, and I lost my wife to not the hurricane, but the calamity afterwards. So you're going to be losing a lot of people. They can't take the stress of having the disarray and the destruction around them. So it's time for us to step up as humans and take care of our fellow humans that have been hit by horrible disaster. So I'll leave it at that, and that's what I'm an expert in.
So let me just run.
Hey,
Right?
Hey, Bruce, hold on. Sorry, I just put Bruce. I believe that's Bruce Long, one of our heads of Broadway. Hold on. Bruce, if you can hear me, I'm going to ask you to
I'm back, but But if anybody wants to help me in this endeavor, I've reached out to both political parties. I'm not getting any feedback, and people need houses now.
Thank you, Garson. Thank you, brother. Let's see. Erwin, sir, will you talk about some of your, oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Hold on, Erwin, because we got someone on time since of the Layla. I just saw you pop up. The floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. My name is Layla. I can't speak for long. I'm just going to be brief, but I've heard a little bit of what you guys have said, and I'm super honored to be here on this call with all you amazing people. So my background is very, very varied. I'm fully European. I'm half Bosnian, half Welsh. I'm a photographer, writer, activist, filmmaker. I work in the blockchain space. I help build companies. I design jewelry. With Will right now, I'm most excited about working on a documentary about one of my passions, which is ancient archaeology and philosophy. But Will actually wanted me to mention a bit of my mom's background. So she is Bosnian. She survived the Bosnian War. I was actually born into it. And she has recently published a book about the clandestine schools that were put on while the capital of Sarajevo was under siege. So for 4 years, there was a blockade of all food, water, and electricity over the capital of Bosnia. And the people living there still tried to organize a school for the children. So there would be teachers who would be running between the buildings while snipers are shooting at them, and putting on secret classes in basements, and amidst bombs falling. So my mom has just written a book about this, some of the stories of the school children and the teachers involved, and I translated it to English. And my mom also has a background in filmmaking, documentary filmmaking, about rare instruments and musicians from around the world, from cultures that aren't very well known. And my father, he worked for NGOs his whole life, mostly in Africa and the Middle East, helping children affected by war. And yeah, I'm a very creative and slightly distracted person with a lot of pursuits, but I also have a YouTube channel where I talk about consciousness, God, spirituality, and manifestation. So I help people kind of get their life on track and manifest what it is they really want. So yeah, if any of you want to connect, feel free to reach out to Will. I'm sure he'd love to pass on my info, and it was a pleasure speaking to you briefly.
Thank you, Layla. Absolutely. I'm going to kick it over to Tara as well to talk about what you're putting together, have going on. And then I think Bruce Long's on, and I want to hit Bruce. Is that you before you go?
Yeah,
Tara?
man. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So let's let Tara go. And then do you have time, Bruce? Are you on the way to the airport, or where are you?
No, I'm on the way back to Charlotte, but it's driving. So
Okay, cool. Give me 1 second. Ladies first. Tara, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Hey, everybody. So my name is Tara Ice. I am in a small town called Alcoa, right outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. And I've been working on a project for many years now. Of the name that I channeled is the Alternative Healing Haven Bliss Sanctuary Farm. And it's pretty much getting this big piece of property of land to do healing work, creating a safe space for people to come work on their healing medicine with an animal rescue. So we're going to use the animals and the people to help heal each other, and use that eventually to help heal the world. Reader's Digest condensed version. So I don't know. I am a spiritual advisor. I'm a medium. I'm a clairvoyant. I kind of like tapped in speed dial, divine channeling and messages and visions and stuff. And I've been seeing this for 10, 15 plus years, and it's finally all starting to manifest right before my very eyes. I have found a piece of property, and we're just making things happen in the physical world to make things possible. If anybody has any extra questions, Will has my information, and we can connect on whatever questions anybody has.
Thank you, Tara. Bruce Long, sir, our head of Broadway. And if you'll share just a quick intro about yourself, what you've gotten put together for your career and life to this day, and how we're totally connected together all the way down to what my mom did for a living, if you don't mind sharing a little bit, because God works in mysterious ways. And also, if you want to talk about the rights that you control on a piece of IP of a movie we're going to be making, that'll also be on stage at some point, which already was. I'm mistaken.
Yes. Cool. All right, cool. Hey, well, hey everyone. My name is Bruce Long. I'm based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I think probably Will and I came together, divine providence, however you want to chalk that up. I think is providential. And so I've enjoyed getting to know him. Look forward to getting to know all of you guys as well. I've been working in Broadway and other live theater producing for a number of years. You can go on my website and check out some of the shows, and working on a current project called Miss Maud's True Story about a nurse midwife out of Pineville, South Carolina, just a few hours south of Charlotte, over in the Low Country near Charleston, South Carolina. And her summer she spent hosting a famous Life magazine photographer by the name of Eugene Smith, and it ended up landing in Life magazine and one of their highest selling issues. She went on to serve the community around her literally till her dying day, delivering babies, but also as a nurse practitioner. We talk about, healthcare deserts today, but she was literally the kind of the medical service provider for folks of all races that were not able to get to a hospital, or simply just wouldn't go because it was too far away. So her story is really inspiring. We have a Broadway. We did the world premiere in Houston last September, October, and we have a Broadway play iteration we're working through, and as well as a film adaptation. And so we're all systems go on that, I guess, as they say. And then with respect to kind of what Will was talking about with his mom, my wife actually had a stroke on opening night of our world premiere, and consequently suffers with a long-term disability called aphasia. So it's a communication disorder, disability rather. And so my daughter just started college this year, first semester down in Orlando, studying speech pathology as a result of that. And Will was kind enough to connect his mom and my daughter, and hopefully that sets her on a career path that's going to help, impact a lot of lives as she, walks through her future. So that's what we've got going on. And because of all of that, I think Will's a good guy. He's a visionary and a dreamer, and I'm looking forward to seeing, what we all collectively do together, following kind of where he's got us all going. Anything else, Will? Did I miss anything?
Oh, man, that was beautiful. God bless you, sir.
All right, bud.
And I'm trying to see Sire and then Irwin. If you guys want to wrap it up, and I think I'm going to let somebody connect at the end if they want to talk. Go for it, sir. If you can hear me. Oh, good. The other person's there still.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
sir.
First of all, I'd just like to give the glory to God for blessing me enough to be in the room with all of these amazing and talented people. My name is Sir James Riley. I'm a graduate of Washington State University, where I played college football for 4 years, and I'm currently a master's student at Jackson State University, where I'm studying urban and regional planning, where I also play college football. And then hopefully, when I graduate next fall, I'm looking to get my doctorate degree in food science. But one of the best things I could have done for myself was learning how to cook. I own a catering business called Sir Signature Creations. And I'm also looking to open my bakery, which is called Custard. And I first learned how to cook because I really just wanted a new pair of J's. But from that young age, my uncle taught me about entrepreneurship. And he really helped me start my business as an 11-year-old kid. Since then, I've competed and won the Washington State University Business Plan competition. I was the only non-business major. I pitched my bakery, but my love for food has been extended through fellowship and the passion that I have for it. Food for me is life. And I love creating intricate flavor combinations and recipes, but above all, I'm really just a big creative. Food is art, and it's kind of all the things that Mr. Crossley had spoke about in his introduction about the foundation of Piney Woods, educating the heart, educating the hands, and just thinking creatively. And food has done that for me. And I'm really excited to see how I could spread my passion to the new generation of youth. I met Will at Alondra Church of Christ, where I'm a member. And I also bake and I sell a lot of my offerings after service, mainly serving custards and cheesecakes. But it's really awesome just sharing my joy and just being able to spread it, just spread it with other like-minded people. But I'm blessed to be in a room with an array of just wonderful people, and I'm just looking forward to see what God has in store for us.
Thank you, my brother. And one of the things I want to do, Mr. Crossley, and I know you want to wrap this out too at a certain point, is build that young man's vision near on the grounds of the campus with part of this from the tourism side, right? When I went to Full Sail, all the stuff around, the beautiful places to eat, but corporate chains, I got a little something special from Rico's Empanadas, who's a Venice Beach staple, one of the best I've ever eaten, to this young man. It's stuff for children and just the way that the food is presented to change the game. So let's see. I'm just making sure we haven't missed anybody. Is there anybody on who has not gotten a chance to connect yet? I don't believe so. CJ, are you there? And if not, I can call him. It's okay. Just so you could say hi. Is that possible? I think your iPhone 64, if I'm not mistaken. And then I'd like Jim Still to speak if possible. Or maybe Jim talks and then CJ. Jim, Papa Still, you don't have to get on camera. Come on.
Will, you have Erwin in the room as well.
Oh, thank you. My
I
bad.
can speak, actually. I think I'm unmuted.
Yeah, you are. And then Erwin, you're next, sir. Thank you for that, Maisha. Keep going.
It's my video is not working, but it's a pleasure to meet you all. There's some amazing people here. My hat is off to my dear friend and colleague Will for pulling this all together. I've been sort of brought into this to help lend some structure to BP Holdings. There's effectively the film and TV division, the tech division, the education division, the sports division, the fashion division, and the music division. It's an unbelievable vision on the part of Mr. Will Clevenger, who I've had the pleasure of making 2 movies with. One of them being Cutthroat City, which he's referenced a few times. And I'm just very excited to help him refine this and put it into a manageable structure and get it really living and breathing as this pretty unbelievable company.
Thank you, Jim.
And that's really all I have to say.
Thanks for showing up, man. God bless you.
My pleasure.
Appreciate you. Mr. Irwin, can you chime in, sir? Not chime in. Can you speak? I'm sorry. I'm a little tired today.
I understand. Hello, everyone. My name is Erwin Woodard, and I
born and raised, Los Angeles, California, still living here currently. Um, Also a member of the Elijah Boulevard Church of Christ, where Will attends church. Um, I am all things education. First off, just educationally wise, I have my BAs in child development. Be in this room, and I'm here to help out wherever I can.
Thank you for that, sir. Let's see. Sorry, I dropped off for a second. We're still going. Okay. Mr. Crossley, the floor is yours to wrap us up. And if somebody who's a mystery man is on the call, that's okay too. Because Will, I think you, Jim Still, Jay, and I, maybe a few other people. I think Jamie King's actually getting on in 5 minutes too. So we're gonna keep this going a little, and she can help close us out. But Will, speak some more, sir. After hearing all these incredible human beings post what you said already.
Yeah, no, so I am completely full and overflowing. Will, this is this I would say Will C, except I'm Will C too. So but Clavenger, this is amazing. Thank you so much for your leadership and your service in
The greatest honor of my life, Will. Keep going.
in pulling all of this in pulling all of this together. And I just as different people have been sharing, it's really just touched on so many pieces of what we're doing. Colin talked about human connections, and that's really been core for us. We work with young people to help them understand that in this increasingly digital world, our humanity requires an expanded level of leadership. Our human connections require, and I think this call has been an example of that. And I just go down the list. Robert, who may have left, was really inspiring to me, and then Sam Harris was. It's just their comments were amazing. Simon and I tell you a core piece of what we do for young people is to focus on resilience and the development of resilience. And in a world that prizes instant gratification, the building resilience in our young people, we think is just core for their development and their success in the future. And then Archer talked about if there some regulations in the city that we have and so forth, and that just creates an opportunity for me to tell you we are the city. Piney Woods has its own zip code here in rural Mississippi, 39148. That's our post office. If you put Piney Woods, Mississippi 39418 on an envelope, there's only one place for it to come. And so we are the city, and that's the opportunity to build, right? That's the opportunity for us to grow this and have impact on young people. And I wish I could call everybody's name, sir. You are like right there, brother. You and I need to be. We should have been in this room together for this call. I was with Jackson State last night, and there's the homecoming coming up. I just got invited to the offered tickets to the football game last night. So yeah, so no, so we definitely need to connect. I got to go out of town, so I'm going to miss it. But the Center for Mississippi Food Systems is doing an event in Jackson coming up this Wednesday, and we should connect to make sure you're a part of that effort. But let me, Jay Ivy, I'm from Chicago, so your story, it touched my heart on so many levels, because it's what we do, and it's what I'm a product of. You talked about a teacher, an adult who saw something in you. And frankly, that's what we do. I have never met a young person who I don't see promise and potential in. And I don't know if that's a gift, or if that's just a reflection of what somebody did for me. And so for all of our young people, this place has been doing that throughout our history. In the early 1900s, when if a Black child was blind or had a vision impairment, there was no place for them to go, because even the blind school was segregated. Now, why they would segregate blind kids, I don't know, because they can't see, right? But even the blind school was segregated. And so we started educating blind kids on this campus with the belief that every young person has promise and potential that exists within them. And in many ways, that's what we continue to do right now. Will, as he was talking, what it occurred to me, it really was demonstrative of why Piney Woods continues to exist. Because we live in a world where not enough people are talking to our young, our youths, our adolescents about what's possible. Most of what happens in the world is telling them why they can't do something, or what the odds are that they're up against. And we need places that empower our young people. We need places that talk to them about what's possible. A few years ago, I had the pleasure of being one of the coaches of my daughter's soccer team. I was living in Washington, D.C., and in the suburbs of D.C., soccer, I guess, adolescent girls soccer was like a big deal. I'm ashamed to say that, and I'll take the blame as the coach. I'm ashamed to say that they did not have a winning season that year. But as I looked back to see the instances in which they lost the game, I didn't see it at the time, but I saw it in hindsight. I noticed that many of the games that they lost, the ball was on our team's side of the field all the time. All the time. It just was there. And so we were constantly trying to block the ball from the other team. Sometimes by accident would kick the ball in the goal, right? And so the truth is that my daughter's team was always on defense. Every single play, it seemed like they were on defense, right? And I was reflecting on that, and I really realized that it's difficult to put points on the board if you are always on defense. And unfortunately, we live in a world that constantly puts our young people in a defensive mode, in a defensive posture. And the reason Piney Woods exists is because young people ought to have a place where they can just live, right? Where they can just be who they are, where they can, in fact, Piney Woods is a place, I say this to the young people when they come here, Piney Woods is a place that was built specifically for them. If they've never been in another place in the world that was built with them in mind, on this campus, that's where they are. And so that's what we do best for our young people. So we bring them into a place that's built for them, that empowers them, that supports them, and that tells them about a world of possibilities, a world of potential, and a world of promise. And the conversation that has been had tonight really just has been inspiring for me to continue. So many of people on this call gave that testimony. And so this conversation tonight has been inspiring for me about what's possible in this place. And Will, I thank you again for your vision and your leadership and pulling all this together. Consider me a continuing servant toward this cause. And let's do great things together.
God bless you, Will. And the other star of the show opposite me, who quietly, along with Jay Ivy for many years, Jamie was the first person in film and TV that was on the level, same as Jay. And she's been behind the scenes through a lot of trials and tribulations that we both walked through and never wavered. And Miss King, better late than never. Hello. I think you're on mute. Hold on. Add to the comedy. It's okay.
How are you?
Amazing. Thanks for showing up.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
100%.
I
I
had to
got
get speaking of children, I had to get my children. And so it was a long school day. So I appreciate your patience.
okay. I knew you'd come at the end.
Yes.
And then before we segue, I saw an iPhone 416 pop up. I want to give Jamie as much time as she wants to speak. And then Chase, if Will McKellen, who funded me for literally 8 months when a bunch of con artists caused me to pivot, who weren't real investors, there he is. Will and I have never met in person. And he gave me a ridiculous amount of money. Not ridiculous, less than 6 figures, but it was a lot for somebody who hasn't met me in person. And that was because my relationship with Chase. But Will, hold on. Jamie's got the floor. Miss King, the show is yours. Thank you.
What were you guys speaking of that was
I mean,
inspiring?
we've been on since 4 p.m. I know
Copy
you're
that.
dealing
Yes.
with stuff, so I've got a recording. We're gonna sync up so you can watch the amazing human beings and spirits that we've all led together. I also know for a fact, because he texted me, that CJ, who I met, who introduced me to Malka Equities, which yesterday became public news of what I led together with Mr. Pete Rivera, who I think is off this. Andrew, I see you there too now, sir. We've got funding to do this. I've had it since April, and I had to get to this day. I had no idea it was going to be this day, but I also had to really connect in you and Jay fully based on the insane path I walked 9 months. So I've talked a lot. The floor is yours, Jay. If you just want to talk about some of what we've been talking about. Isaac Moneypenny was on here earlier, right? Who's got, playlist where you, him, and Jay were speaking the other day. But if you just want to talk about some of everyone's talked about their relationships. So Rasta Phil was on here, who grew up with Mr. Mark Wahlberg. It's the biggest ecosystem in the world of collective talent. Jay did the doc on Kanye. It's like I'm Cutthroat City.
Yes.
You speak for yourself. You've been a superstar since you were young. So if you just want to talk about some of the vision for it and what you could bring to the table now that this is the reality of our collective lives moving forward.
In regards to Piney Woods and education?
Anything you want to talk about. Piney Woods, and I definitely want you and Will to start connecting more one-on-one. But yeah, talk about
For
Piney
sure.
Woods, what we could bring to the next generation of artists that we don't have to, have these
Yes.
next kids go through what all of us do to get to today, regardless age in life.
Exactly. So I'm I have a doctorate in spiritual science and psychology. I grew up in the hood, and learned from very early on that that's a way to keep children and people oppressed when they have zero access to education, and don't have the support or the purpose or the means. And so what you were sharing the other day, Will, about everything that you're providing, like if we give people a sense of self and purpose, there's nothing that they cannot do. It is without that, it just keeps everyone oppressed. The idea of educating people through music, through film, through television. One idea that I did have from the previous call is to essentially create our own mini studio with getting gear for the children. Do you know what I mean? Educate them on how to use this gear, whether it's, a studio setup, whether it is cameras, lighting, like all of that stuff. I also feel like it would be really great to bring like musicians and filmmakers down to educate, and to create like labs where we can see what can happen, like whether it's Lil Wayne, Kanye would do it, Taylor, the Haim sister. I can go on and on and on and on about like all the different a lot of my different friends that would be willing to come down and do a lab, and help teach and see what is created out of that, because there's so much IP that can be created, so many songs, so many albums, like the creativity of all of us together is truly endless. And I think that we would find something not only magical but disruptive in a good way, because we must disrupt the system, because the way that the system is working is not working at all. The way that the music, with the Spotify's, the studios and the labels, the streaming, it's like they are stuck on the old ways where they want to essentially own and oppress, and people don't receive what it is that they should be receiving, nor have the opportunities to actually create what's inside of them. And there's nothing like the power of artists and the power of collaboration and the power of people coming together. And so I really feel like there's something there, um, like almost like a retreat kind of vibe, to do something like that.
At Piney Woods. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Indeed. Hey, Drew, you know how I like to pivot.
And also like Joshua Bennett, like bringing like Joshua Bennett down, who's a brilliant professor, spoken word. He's like a genius. Like, I mean, there's so many, we can make lists of people to come down and collaborate. And yeah, Alicia Keys, like all the homies,
Jamie, for everything, and just everybody that's been on this call that's believed in my crazy, everyone calling me manic at points, even though I wasn't, because I was going through the flow. Everything else around me was happening. I'm just
we're all a
thankful.
little bit manic sometimes.
Well, we're artists, man, all of us, even Will up there. I know Mr. Crossley's an artist too. Look at what he's building. I see an iPhone 416828. I'm not going to read the rest, even though your number's already public. You should put a name on there, whoever this is. It might be, my phone died in the middle of this. I had to switch to Bruce's hotspot. But I'm going to ask them to unmute so I can see who it is. Jamie, you're a superstar. We're going to be talking many years.
Thank you all. God bless you.
Well, I've been saying
Andrew,
I'm
too.
not manic, I'm motivated.
I love
I'd
it.
written that.
I love
Nice,
it.
nice.
Andrew,
real quick.
sorry. Yes, go
You
ahead.
you mind if I hop in 1 second, Will?
Not
I
at
actually
all.
have to hop on this. They're doing this IG live for the Grammys. So I need to hop on. But before I left, I know you asked for a word earlier, and I'm so inspired that I would love to give a word before I go, if that's all right.
Please.
There's a poem I wrote some years ago. It's been kind of I guess like a North Star for me, and like truly, truly, truly inspired by everybody's story. So this poem is called Dream Big, and it says, true life may seem at an all-time low. You tried everything, but you can't seem to find your flow. So success comes slow and problems tend to grow. You seen your friends shine like it's 100 degrees while you chilling at 10 below. It's cold out here, it's freezing. The bad times are increasing. Bad energy is all that your surroundings are releasing, so misery's been feasting on your soul. Vices grow hold and lows get heavy. You feel so heavy, but you can't block your blessings. When they come your way, you gotta be ready to receive. You got to shake off the fear and believe, because at times we're tested to see how strong we really are, how far we really go. There's an army growing, but you can't join unless you know what you're fighting for, because if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. So stand tall. Know that you can't walk until you crawl. You can't run until you walk. You can't fly without a running start. So pump your arms when you come off the block. And it won't do you no harm to come off your block. Get out and see the world, because everyone has their own mountaintops. It wasn't promised to a few, but promised to those who knew. So climb the way you breathe and never stop. Inhale your best. Exhale the BS. Keep on keeping on. See where you're going and work on getting there. Don't hate on others when others get theirs, because you go get yours. You go knock down your own doors. Know that God go take care of you and yours. That's why miracles happen out of the blue. So know that and remember that can't nobody stop you but you, because dreams don't come true, they are true. So dream big. Then after that, dream even bigger. So big that Martin and Coretta are up in heaven holding hands, smiling down at us with a tear in their eye and joy in their heart, saying, Amen, amen, amen.
Brother, I love you so much.
Wow.
Dave.
I love y'all, man.
Amen.
Nice.
Amen.
And
Amazing.
thank y'all. And pardon me, I really want to stay for the full call, but they texting me asking me if I can hop on for this. So
You're good. Do
I'm
do
looking
your
forward to
Grammy
it.
duties. We'll talk later.
All right, my brother. Love y'all. Much
Love
love.
Love ya.
That was beautiful.
God bless.
Thank you, Jay, for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ashe, brother.
Andrew Klein. I mean, you got to follow that, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Sorry,
Tony
it's a
Stark
bit,
it up. Go for it.
sorry, it's a bit echoey in here, but yeah, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrew Klein. Aside from what I do, just listening to all of you really inspired me, and I've always prided myself on being a very independent person, can take care of myself, don't need anyone, make enough money, by myself. I've always had and I've had a lot of ups and downs in my life generally, and more lately than before. But after meeting Will and just seeing there's some genuine people in this world that are not just out to stab you in the back and take everything you can, jack your IP and run. I got caught up. I heard you say con artist as well. And, I ended up running into 3 different rings of them over the course of raising money. And, every time I became a little worse off. And, so now I have this little, you know, I guess hesitation of like, who can I trust? Are there really actually good people that want to fund you? Or are they trying to just, shark you and take 40% of your company and then sit on your board and make all your decisions and try to get rid of you? Or are there people just, lying and BSing? So anyway, it kind of reinstilled, a trust mechanism in me, that in humanity. And I honestly grew up, going to church every single week of my life. I mean, when I was a kid, it wasn't optional. So I think the first time I missed church was when I was in college. So, and then I, went down a little bit of a bad habit path, but I think everyone's brought into your life for some reason. And, again, Will was just a very happen chance meeting through my wife, actually, Karen, who's a co-founder with me. So, yeah, just wanted to lead with that, guys. But on a professional level, what I'm, trying to bring to the collective is an AI infrastructure layer. So we are, one of my biggest missions in life is always to level the play field in some extent. And right now, AI is just it's in the hands of the few, and it's going to be in the hands of 2 or 3 come, let's give it another year or 2. And those 3 people are going to be controlling, every aspect of our kids' lives, from, they could say 2 plus 2 is 5, and people will type it into Chat GPT and believe it. So, textbooks are bad enough, but imagine a level where everyone's so dependent they can't even think freely. It's terrifying to me. And there's no democratization. There's no shared profits. It's just displacing jobs. It's fear. It's mundane. So the network I'm building, I want everyone to be able to create and build and train decentralized AI models that are also democratized. So a collective of us and people like us with subsidized hash power from users like all of you who have a computer that you can
Oh, he was really breaking the matrix.
So, I've actually worked with a family that, special needs. Can you guys hear me okay? Is that I was
Yeah,
unstable?
no, you're good now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just, my mom's been a special ed teacher for her whole life, so I've always been around people that need a little more guidance. And initially I was going to create like a leadership focused agent AI that will essentially follow around leaders and augment your decision making in real time and say, oh, what would a leader do? And it would, aggregate all the best leaders in the world, and you could pick and choose the ones that match your personality and make you a better leader. But that's strictly kind of business, money, revenue. It's not really exciting, right? So I started thinking, what if there was someone that could, there's plenty of rare diseases out there, and people, even parents and caretakers who could look through a lens and be rewarded through tokens and cryptocurrency and blockchain for doing the right thing and recording these interactions and logging them. So, for instance, Google Glasses comes out and you're taking care of whether it's an elderly person or someone that, can't take care of themselves. Like every single thing they've done will be documented and cataloged in a sense, in a very secure mechanism where it will just provide so much more insights on how to not only deal with that person, but how to deal with the whole class. So that's kind of one of the visions of one of the things I want to train beyond kind of the Hollywood angle and providing, the hash power where needed. And I say hash power, but I'm more talking about GPU compute power, and that comes from all of your computers. So in a nutshell, one day you'll be able to actually, you can go to dklabs.ai, you can download our client. You download our client. I'm going to be giving people between $10 to $17 a day if you are part of the network for 24 hours. Everyone that buys this computational power will pay in our token. So essentially what you're doing is you're investing in hash power and compute power and the fact that AI demand is going to go up. So that's what our token represents. It's not some BS meme coin dog token. It's literally a tokenized representation of hash power. And Will's collective, with all the AI projects and the needs of the entertainment industry, we believe we can subsidize that price and save 75 to 90% of what they would normally be spending on compute power with our infrastructure layer. So we are currently in the raising capital stage. So we've got our MVP up, and yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Thank you, brother, for that. And I want to kick it. Todd Dinkins, sir. I didn't see you earlier. There's so much going on. If you want to speak about some of your background, also the educational stuff we talked about when we were first getting together. And then because my grandfather was a veteran, Dan Kinderella, I'm going to kick it over to you after Todd. And I think there's one or two people that may jump back on or jump on this, but keep flowing, guys, for those that are still here. Todd.
And quite honestly, I'm just very humbled to be invited on this call. Will and I just recently met over the last several months, and I appreciate you, attaching me to this incredible group of just incredible people. I've been blown away by everything I've heard, and so thank you for that. And like I said, I am, humbled for that invitation. So I am in the cannabis space. Have been for the last 14 years. But I'm also a producer, director, editor that I've been doing that for the last 35 years. You can tell that I'm just an old guy, right? So I met Will through my very dear friend, Christine Sclafani, who you guys met earlier. Christine and I have been working on projects in South Florida and in Los Angeles for the last 25 years. I can't believe it's been that long, Christine, but we have been working together for a very long time. And then Christine did me the great favor to introduce me to Will because we have a project that we feel can touch a lot of. And it's interesting that in talking about education, our feature film, it's called The King of Pot, and it's about my cousin Bruce, actually, who was one of the biggest cannabis smugglers of all time. But he did everything peacefully and everything with a handshake, and everything every time he closed a deal with some big rough and tumble, and that was his contract. And interestingly enough, he had a very unique way to smuggle. He would fly the cannabis from the east coast of Colombia to the west coast of Colombia, and there was a village there, just an indigenous space. So he made a deal with the mayor of the town to build them a school. And so it's so weird how it just, that this is what this is about. And I couldn't wait to come on and tell that story. but Bruce was very integral in creating a real big community in this very small village on the west coast of Colombia. And lots of those kids who went to that school and graduated from that school are now out in the world doing wonderful things. So I've been in the cannabis space for the last 16 years or so, and we've also developed an education system for cannabis. We have a whole program called The History of Cannabis, which is a 400-page, informational, educational that tells you everything from cannabis, where it started, back when the Chinese were using it, and all the way to current day. We'd like to bring that to life. We have a feature film called The King of Pot, which is about my cousin Bruce. We also have moved into the metaverse and created what we call the Smuggleverse, which is a digital version of smuggling. So we're creating a game similar to Grand Theft Auto, but for smuggling and for cannabis. And that's very exciting because it's a way to really utilize the economics of cannabis, but all digitally, right? So all legal, right? Which is really nice. I also am a firm believer in educating folks about cannabis, because good education creates good legislation. And that's really what we need, not only from our local authorities and from our local governments, but certainly from our federal government and literally from governments worldwide.
Hey, Todd,
So
and you also, sorry, keep going.
That's okay. No.
I wanted to ask
Okay.
I
you.
like what he's talking about. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Rasta, we can hear you. And Rasta, 1 second.
Well,
Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
involved with one of the founding that went public, Weed MD, in Canada in the cannabis space. I'm very
Nice.
heavy in that space here in Canada. So
Awesome.
that's a good look. And my boy Dan Weedock is the one they got at Harvard University doing a lot of stuff there. So we have
Nice.
a lot of synergies.
And
So
Rasta,
it's not-
that's
it's all good.
I haven't got a chance to connect you because I've been so busy with Todd and Christine. Part of the term sheet I'm sending them is you and the crew as producers on this movie. Also, and I wanted to add, Todd, since Billy's not here, I know he was on earlier. Can you talk
Yeah.
about Billy's background in the studio system, and specifically
Oh,
what
yeah.
he brought to the table?
Sure.
May I say something real quick?
Of course.
So I am on the board of the Sean Parker Institute for Immunotherapy, and the education aspect of this would be very, very helpful, because people don't really understand the benefits of cannabis. For those that have cancer, epilepsy,
Yes.
endometriosis, PCOS, et cetera, et cetera. I also have the first online platform called Alara Health. We were just funded by Google,
Nice.
which is the first online platform
Is
for
that a
women.
Canadian company or Aurora?
American, Alara.
Oh.
But all of this would be extremely helpful for those two. Thank you.
And thank you, Jay. And I want to
Yeah.
add to Dan
Hey, hook up.
Cinderella, you're up next, sir. And it segues in. Keep going, Todd.
Yeah. So my partner Billy, who I've known for even longer than Christine, for 35 years. He was in my wedding 36 years ago. That's how long I've known Billy, and Billy and I produced many projects together. We did produce a big film for the Sydney Olympics back in 2000 that Billy produced and I directed. We won all kinds of awards. It played at the opening ceremonies at the Sydney Olympics. Billy also co-produced Seabiscuit. He has been working with Warner Brothers for the last 15 years, creating all of their internal and promotional stuff. He also did the opening titles for The Tonight Show, which ran for 15 years when Jay Leno was on The Tonight Show. He's been in and around the studio system for 25, 30 years. His company is Make It Happen Productions. And Billy and I partnered on this film because who else would I go to but my lifelong friend, who's an experienced, industry guy who I respect and love, because Adam, what you were saying last, there's so many bad people out there that can give you money and you can do things with, but you get caught up in the bullshit, right?
Nope.
But I'm old enough now where you only want to do business with people that you like and the people that you relate to and people that you have synergies with. It's not just about somebody writing you a check. There's so much more beyond just the check. And that's how Billy lives his life, and that's how I live my life. And we're so blessed to be introduced to you folks. And however I can contribute, however I can help with the whole. Now that you know my background, and right now I have a marijuana testing lab here in Las Vegas, where I'm based out of. So if ever I can be of help or service, or if you need any kind of cannabis, anything, the answer is yes. Okay. And whatever I can do as to help the group grow, progress, and even to help the school. And a lot of people shy away from cannabis education, but I'm a big fan of cannabis education because like we were saying earlier, people just don't know, and what you don't know, you don't know. And most people who either aren't in the cannabis industry or don't use cannabis, they just don't know, and they just know all the propaganda that we've been marketed to for the last 120 years. And it's a lot.
Sorry, I want to, Todd, you hit a raw note for me, because the thing I had to get sober from was I used to abuse marijuana. I used it because I was depressed since I was in high school, and then the path out here. And so what happened with me getting sober the end of last year and then baptized, through the path and all this, and it got to the point to where it's not something that's ever abused anymore. So a lot of the path that I connect on this, and I'm speaking about this now, to when I got stuck in a position of if I need to pivot, I don't buy weed, I don't have it on me, my friends smoke it, I will hit it one time, and it literally would activate something to unlock where I needed to go in this, because I'm not abusing, I don't smoke weed all the time anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that to share my own story, because my story and the path I've walked is literally going to change the entire world. And I think everybody today will finally listen to me in the manner that all I've ever asked for. And sometimes I've had to be very reactionary because I feel like I'm counteracting so much energy. And I just think to have a space to where not only am I being listened to today, but everybody will be listened to individually in the right way moving forward, because we're silenced a lot. And that's what's put us in the positions that we're in life that have created so much stress and mental anguish. Who's up that?
And that's the whole point, is creating a safe space for all of us to hold space for each other.
Yes. And you gotta always remember, ganja is the healing of the nation. And ganja is the thing that I've always lived all my life. I was the first one bringing the weed from New York to Boston. I had the first illegal weed store, Hollywood Boulevard and Kawingi, right next to Solar Records.
No.
How you think I know Dre and all them niggas? How you think I know all them people? The weed always kept the peace.
That's right.
I think sometimes we need a formula for the war so we could go spray everybody.
Yes.
And everybody just enjoy themselves.
Yes, brother.
I love you, Rasta Phil.
Yes.
Phil, everybody.
Everything. And it's a medicine now. It's our medicine. My mom, who's
It's
a
always
Christian
been a
woman,
medicine.
I'm sending it to rub her legs, her knees, and she's feeling better by the grace of God. You know what I'm saying? Ganja
It's
is
the
healing of
universal
the nation.
medicine. It's the universal medicine for everything.
Yeah, people
And
call
we got to teach, like he said, the Canadian government will love you because we want to teach them and educate everybody here. And that's very good. I like that. Don't worry, we have a lot of things to do.
Good. Yeah, people say that plant medicine is alternative.
Sorry.
But plant medicine is the original medicine.
That's very true.
Maybe that's what I
God's
specialize
drug.
in, is
I've always
plant
said
medicine in all different modalities, because every plant that God has given us has a healing, whether it be
Yes.
mentally,
Yes, it does.
And our
physically,
bodies
emotionally,
have
or
weed in it
spiritually.
already.
And that's
The
what I
cannabinoids.
specialize in. That's what we're going to do on the Haven, is we're going to grow everything that God has given us and everything that we've ever need. And we're going to use it. We're going to give this information. We're going to help heal the world with it.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Kendrella.
Yes, this
Cinderella.
is a perfect segue for my story.
Hi, Dan.
Hello, Tara. Hey, guys.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
It looks like we all have a lot of interconnectedness through that. My story is I'm a veteran. I was in the Navy from 93 to 99. I served on special teams of vessel boarding, search, and seizure. I took down 7 of the top 10 oil and gas smugglers in the Persian Gulf.
Wow.
Our teams were responsible for that alone. again, I got out in 99, so I was very fortunate that after 9/11, my buddies who re-enlisted, they were definitely changed. So I have a very big, oh, thank you for being people worth protecting. And I will do that continually. I did a bunch of odd jobs from advertising to real estate. I'm currently in Pepperdine now, getting my master's in real estate. Um, in 2008, I was involved in a head-on car collision. I spent 2 years in the hospital. I had to learn how to walk, talk, and think again. I had both of my feet were ripped off. If you guys ever watched Misery, I would trade places with him. That would be gentle compared to what I went through. I broke my face in 15 places, my neck in 2 places, had TBI, 6 days in a coma. The 2 years in the hospital, they had me on 180 milligrams of Oxycontin, Vicodin, Percocet, Dilaudid, Lyrica, and Cymbalta. I was maxed out on all of those.
Recording progress.
Sorry. Through the entire time. Yeah, we got a remix going on.
I know what that was. It's not very, just keep going, Dan.
And so I was on all those medications, and throughout the couple years I was on them, I kept telling them to take me off, reset my system. They wouldn't do it. They said the only thing we can do is up the dosage or put you on a higher, sorry, part of my fun stuff with the brain injuries, put you on a higher type of medication. And the next spot was basically methadone. I was like, no, I'll just put up with the pain. They woke me up at 8 o'clock in the morning and told me you got to be gone by noon. After being in the hospital for 2 years, I lost everything, as you can imagine. They kicked me out of the hospital. I didn't know what I was going to go through because I've never been on that kind of medications before. I went through 2 weeks of probably the shittiest withdrawals. Withdrawals are never fun. I was in and out of the hospital enough times where I knew which EMTs were working on me, bringing me back. I knew what hospital I was going to based on the time of day. That's how many times I was in and out of the ER during those 2 or 3 weeks. Turned to medical marijuana because that was the only thing that could help me at the time, and this was in 2010. And it was just becoming medically legal. I went through all that. I stopped working obviously for a very long time, trying to heal myself. I studied marijuana as a legitimate, like I needed it to learn how to walk. I needed it to keep my brain in functioning from the Oxycontin and other issues. So I was very, I've got tons of notes on like every single plant that I smoked, telling you what symptoms it relieved and didn't relieve, all the way down to the CBDs in the plant. To where now I've worked my way back into society, and I'm back at I was operating at a business development executive where I'm helping all sorts of wonderful companies become public, or find financing for them. One of them is actually High Times magazines. My friends just was trying to get them out of receivership. Excuse me. So if anyone is interested in that, I've got that opportunity. Met through those opportunities. Ended up meeting Will, who brought me in on this because I had also done concerts in the past. My last concert was Men at Work UB40 and Smash Mouth last year. That was called the Feel Good Concert. They brought me on to help with advertising, and within about 3 months, I was the head contact on that concert, taking care of everything that they could throw at me, which was nice. And through that, it really lit my passion to be able to help people out because I realized that I the one I'm not from the Hollywood industry. So, but one thing that I didn't understand was I seen how much money people were making, and I seen how little either the artist received in conjunction overall, or they didn't really, or a lot of people didn't get paid along the way, and it just blew my fucking mind. And I was like, why can't we start some, pardon the language, you know, I graduated from Bible theology
Same
and
way.
ministry, and I still cuss like a sailor. So, um, uh, you know, it blows my mind that there's people out there that make so much money, but wouldn't pay someone who needs the money desperately to live off of. The company that hired me, they didn't pay me. They owe me about $100,000 for that concert. They owe an old lady who was using that concert to retire. They owe her money, you know, and it's like, how do you not? You guys are a multi-billion-dollar company, you know, and you're not paying the people you hired. It just doesn't make sense to me, and it really irritated me. And I'm like, it just makes sense that if someone were to be able to start something that was you know, it didn't necessarily, in my eyes, it had to be faith-based, but it doesn't have to be in order to treat people fairly. Um, like if you started something up like that, it would be huge. And here
And then
we are.
that's where we come in
That's
and we
what
fix
this
things.
is. So I want to add,
Precisely.
not to, I could listen to you talk all day, you know, it's how.
Yeah, that's all I needed to say. That was
But
thank you.
will you talk about the plan to do what we're doing for the veterans and also some sustainable housing?
Sure. So the plan that Will and I came up with in a way was that we can do a benefits concert on some land. We use that money that we raise through that, and we can film the concert, put it on video on demand, and that
No,
will
well,
help lower the cost.
we have a company. We have a company.
Exactly. Yeah, precisely. And so we want to lower the cost of the tickets so that more people can afford to go to the tickets, and it's a sold out show, and more people will be likely to go to it online because it was a sold out show, and they'll want to be part of that. So we can lower the boost our operating income. We can provide a great show for many people, pay the artist properly. With those proceeds, we can build housing on that property. If I know we have some people in our development that does that, we can build the properties, and through that we can donate and or sell them to the veterans.
Yes, sir.
And that brings in all sort of verticals for income.
And thank you for
And
all.
helping
Well, you got to
people.
meet my
Majority
cousin.
is
Bruce,
helping people.
Bruce has developed what he calls a Kin's domain. Sorry to just jump in here,
Oh,
but it's really relevant to what you're talking about. And the Kin's domain in Dolan Springs, Arizona, is a giant piece of land that is a sustainable community that is also big enough for events, right? In fact, they're talking to the folks, some big firm in doing a deal. I forget what, I'm not really in the event space, but he will know. But I want to hook you guys up. So maybe the Kin's domain is made for a there's the veterans Kin's domain, there's a abused women Kin's domain. It's so these folks have a place to go, right, and live in a community that's self-sustainable and live and you know, with each other. But I want to hook you guys up because it's a great venue and a great situation. Also, we do a lot of work with Weed for Warriors, which is a group that gets access to weed for veterans. I'm really good friends with Sean Kieran, the CEO, and I'd like to get him, you know, into this whole group as well.
Oh, thank you for that. And I just saw something that makes me smile. The man who introduced Mr. Will Crossley and myself, Dean Hadley, who literally just woke up because he's currently abroad. I don't know if your eyes are open yet, my guy. We've been on the Zoom for almost 3 hours, and it's all recorded, so you'll get to play catch up.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
Michael Gold is also, I wish Michael Gold had told me he's been drinking buddies in the past years ago with Mel Gibson on and off, because it would have made my path a lot easier. But but you gotta go through God's plan. So, Dean Hadley, I met through my landlord, where I met and lived for the last almost 4 years, where I met Whitney Sanders, our architect, and Glenn Williams, our other one, and a whole bunch more. Dean, man, the floor is yours, my big bro. And Big
hey everyone,
Jerry's
good
on
morning.
here too. Keep going, Dean.
Oh, Big Jerry, how you doing? How you doing? How's everybody doing?
We're
Good,
good.
man.
Bro.
Good.
Good. I'm sorry for not sharing my video. Give me a couple minutes and I will. I'm actually abroad right now. I should be back in about a week. I live in LA. Got connected with Will. Obviously, I'm actually a Piney Woods alum. Can't express how big of an impact Piney Woods had on my life, my every part of my walk. And yeah, I'm just happy to check in with everybody, and just see things progressing. Let's continue to make an impact on children's lives, that impact their respective communities in the most positive ways.
I love you, Dean, and we got to catch up because I actually found multiple investment capital to put all this together.
Excellent.
There's a few
Excellent.
that like
Excellent.
stay silent because that's how they stay alive. But I got some press to send you that went out yesterday so you can read it. Things we talked about many months, and like I said, man, the pivot in the past. So it's good to hear you, see you, and we have built something. And if you build it, they will come. And Will, sir, I brought everybody forward, man. I'm gonna connect you directly with who we need to, and you, Jay Ivy, myself, and some other superheroes. Now we got a recording, man, and seeing's believing, so is listening, and the right people will see this privately. And God bless you, sir, because we changed the world together through God. I already know it.
Yeah, no,
Amen.
this is amazing, Dean. I'm so glad you were able to get on, and thank you for being integral to all of this happening. Will, I meant to tell you at the start, it's okay if your beard is getting a little gray. Uh, it's just me.
Look yourself in the mirror.
Hey, I love you, Rasta. It's okay, man. I look pretty. I'm prettier with the gray. It's fine. Adds to the blonde.
It just
I
means you're in good company. That's all. That's all. So no, look, this is awesome. It's a sign of your wisdom and a sign of your leadership. And yeah, I know a lot of folks have come on this call and have gone off, but it's been an amazing time. And I'm grateful to you, and just want to be a part in whatever way I can, ensuring that we're investing in future generations, paying it forward, right?
Yep.
That's
Can I add something though, so you guys know? I heard the brother, he was talking about the music and stuff. We have a company like
yes.
Live Nation called Firehouse. So, maybe
Bill.
Melanie should have told all about that too.
It's
And we
okay.
also have some stuff we
I'm
got
gonna
going on
talk. Bill,
all in
I
all.
got you. I got you. I was just being respectful to people, and I didn't want to throw everything that we do out there because I know Will knows everything, and I just, but just to piggyback off of when I heard everybody talking about the events and the event space, Rostafil and I are part of a company called Firehouse. And Firehouse was originally the labor crew that Live Nation hired for the stage and sound and all this. For the last 30 years, internationally, every event Live Nation did, Firehouse was the crew that they hired, the labor crew. With that said, they have the relationships with all the venues that Live Nation has internationally, as well as we have given Will the P&Ls and ROIs to show the past performance. What Firehouse does different than Live Nation, which is for the artist, is partnering with the artist instead of just booking the artist and getting rich off the artist. We partner with the artist. And now from this tour or event series that we do with them, we again partner with them so they're able to share equally on the profits of the door, the merch, the concession, the IP, the merch, because now we go in and we film everything and then we'll distribute it and creating
revenue that lasts longer than just a tour or event series. So that's another thing we're bringing to the table.
That is absolutely amazing.
That's awesome.
We could
Yeah,
literally
that's awesome.
talk all night forever. We've almost been on for 3 hours, 2 minutes from now. So this is the start of what we will talk about the rest of this week. We're obviously going to have calls after this. Reverend Samuel Harris, will you please, sir, unless there's anything anybody else wants to add, close us out with prayer in only the way that a reverend can?
Well, we thank everyone, and we just speak to
I
this.
actually was wondering if I
Oh.
could say something here at the end. I wanted to wait until everybody was done.
Then we'll close out in prayer. Absolutely, Tara.
Okay, thank you. So, I also wanted to bring up something else that I'm a part of is I was just a couple days ago grandfathered in to a company as a founding member of ARC3 with Jeffrey Lieutenant, aka LT.
I invited
And
him, but he hasn't seen it. Keep going. Keep going. Thank you.
okay, so he I can't talk a whole lot about it. I'm going to let him. This is his project. But what I'm about to ask is I've been holding this and sitting and chewing on it. And I feel like it's something that I need to share. So this tech, he's told me, he's talked about bringing clean water and resources and energy to Africa, to Sierra Leone, to South America, to anywhere that it needs it. Well, I'm not sure if anybody's aware of what's happened with the major supernatural, unnatural storm systems that have happened recently. But as I was as I left and flew out to be with everybody and in the week of that we had our first meeting, Will, when we're sitting at the picnic table, my backyard and my home was getting ravaged. And the people here, they don't have clean water and they don't have power and energy. Their cleanup crews, there's my godfather is heading and running relief aid up to the mountains every single day, running semi trucks, running baby supplies, formula, all kinds of stuff. And supplies are running out quick. And I'm going to talk to LT. I haven't been able to get in touch with him, but I'm going to talk to him and be like, look, dude, the way that we help is we start at home.
Yeah.
And this is my home. And I'm asking everybody who has been a part of this and the humanitarian work that we want to do.
Well, sorry, my bad.
I need help.
My
Please.
and my my entire home state just got
If anybody has anything that they want to offer, and that's exactly what I was about to bring up as well. It starts at home. It's your home too, baby.
my home state's decimated.
We need to divide and conquer.
I know. Well, that's what I've been doing. My uncle works for FEMA. Well, it doesn't work for them. He's business partners with FEMA and some government contracts. He's a medical doctor by trade, but has done some superhero work through the years I didn't understand until now. Archer, I've been meaning to
Right.
connect with him, but thank you, Todd, for bringing all this up. And Dr. Sid Clevenger, I'm going to, it's funny. It's not funny. It's just he lives in Florida, and I don't think he ever prepared for something quite like this because it really is the worst since Katrina between that and the Carolinas where Bruce is. Thank you. And LT.
So I'm going to reach out to LT, and as I talk to him,
I've hit him up. Thank you. You can hit him up too. I've texted him 5 times.
Okay.
I sent him 2 emails.
Well,
Get on this Zoom.
once I may connect with him and I talk to him about what I need brought to my place, I'm going to have him, in the same breath, we're going to take it to Florida as well, the tech in the water.
Thank you.
We'll figure it out.
I would talk all night about all this, and I have the rest of my
For
life.
sure.
Reverend Samuel, can you
Yes.
please help us out, sir? And also anything you want to add because God has worked through you and I endlessly, practically 24/7 the last 2 weeks as vessels to get
Oh,
this
yeah. Well,
set. And
well,
Reverend Dean Hadley here has no idea
Yep.
what's going on. Hey, Dean, we got Jackson pieces, as in Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, and you and I got to talk
Yeah.
about all this.
Awesome. We can get caught up. I was just telling Will, we'll have a catch up for sure.
Beautiful.
Thanks for just sending me bits and pieces here. That's great.
Oh, you push this forward, man. Reverend Samuel. I'm Samuel.
Amen.
Say a
Yes,
prayer. I say Reverend too much, as you told me.
amen.
I
Well, we're
can't.
thankful. We're thankful for the call and want to say blessings to each and every one of you. And the scripture says how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity as well as sisters, because we're one in Christ. And we just want to speak life. And as Jabez, he prayed, he said, bless me indeed, enlarge my territory, keep us from evil, that we would be not grieved. So we just want to go and pray. Father, we thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for our visionary, Brother Will. We thank you for every soul that's on the line, representing their marriages, their families, their households, their businesses, their vision, their dreams. And Lord, we know that you're breathing on it right now. And we thank you, even as the people at the time were climbing up, going up the Tower of Babel, and you had to confuse their languages because you saw that they were so determined that they were really working their way up to paradise. And you said you've got to confuse them because that was not the plan. But you said their mind was as one. And so if any two touch and agree, you said in my name it shall be done. So we thank you for the vision and the provision that it come to pass that you may be glorified in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you.
Amen.
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 Amen. Hallelujah.
Everybody that's been on today, I'm going to go review and replay the video later. I will get an email out privately with everyone. Well, we'll figure out some flow. I got to get with my brother CJ from Malka, who did text me that he was on the call. I think I know who he is on this. Potentially iPhone 64, because they're the only person that hasn't spoken. But it's okay because we don't need the money to talk because everybody just did it for themselves. And I've got a lot of people that have chased me 6 ways from Sunday over the last 9 months. And God is driving all this, just like I've told many people.
We could set up a WhatsApp call with everybody so everybody can start to communicate because there's a lot of good synergies to make some business happen.
So
and I can help each and every one in different ways, and we can really get some stuff really pumping out. This was good networking. Well, this is unbelievable. This just shows how, and we're all parts of the world. That's amazing.
Thank you, Ross.
You know what I'm saying? The pipeline is big. You're the Underground Railroad, man.
Baby,
Mouth
we ain't
about it.
underground anymore.
Way above it
We
now,
ain't,
Ross.
we ain't
Holy.
underground anymore.
This is good. This is good. That's everybody just got to keep their word and keep moving forward, and a lot could happen. That's all it is, man.
Thank you,
like
Rasta.
saying,
You're the
there's
man.
lots of people I know is working on the food space. I just gotta hook you up with some people I got here. They have a heavy network. I know everything is going on. I'm now learning. There's always help
for you.
You know, they say ask and it shall be given unto you.
Ask and it
it's all good.
shall be given. Ask and you shall receive.
Come, we just gotta talk and communicate, and you'll see how easy all of us could work together because everybody's trying to do the same thing. This cannabis guy, I need him up here really bad. The government will love him to death. They need to educate. They told me that, oh my God, it's perfect. God works in mysterious ways, and then there's a lot of other things with the music, everything we got. It's all just let's keep talking and keep it moving. You know what I mean? And get up to the Piney Woods place, help the kids, and set up a formula not only there in Mississippi but everywhere, especially in Canada, everywhere we could copy the formula and work together and build a network strong. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, Rasta. It's everything we've always talked about too.
Pastor Harris, I don't know how far you are from Prairie View. I got a group of students. We go to college tours all over the nation.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Group of kids we're bringing down. We're bringing down that way before the end of this month.
Yeah, we got to hook up because I have a ranch, 11.5-acre ranch right near NRG Stadium. We have horses and cows, and where they can come and have a fun day and eat and hang out while they're in this area.
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's an amazing opportunity. We're here in Mississippi, but we go all over this nation with kids. We have many kids who have never, I didn't say this earlier, but our scholarship is, our program is a scholarship program. Every student is receiving some scholarship from our donor community. And one of the things we do is we try to get kids out of their normal environment. So we sometimes get kids never left their home county and we take them to DC, and we take them to Chicago, and we take them to Atlanta and Florida. And we're coming to Texas. We were in Texas last year. We're coming again this year. So we're excited about that trip. It's happening, I think, in the next 2 weeks.
I'm gonna link you guys up also with my cousin in Baltimore who is doing the same exact thing. So it's gonna be a big network. Remember, I just got to know everybody today. My cousin is in Baltimore. He's doing the same thing. What you guys are doing? It's very big. That's a good. Yes. This is good, man.
What a start, Mr. Crossley.
All right.
Angel.
Yeah. No, so much more to do, so much more to build. And so
yes.
Thank you so much, Will.
We got a lot of work to do.
So, Mr. Crossley, I had a question. So where in DC was that soccer team you were talking about? Because I used to play for South Lakes.
Oh,
Fairfax
well, Montgomery County. So we lived in Bethesda. And so
Bethesda, I was born in Bethesda, Maryland.
yeah.
was born in
My daughter
Bethesda,
played in
Maryland.
Bethesda and Potomac, and so it's actually North Potomac is the soccer field that they played on.
Okay, y'all was across the river. I was back in Virginia, close to on the,
Okay,
on the
all
lower
right,
side
all
of
right.
DC.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
small
just curious. It
world.
piqued
So
my attention.
yeah, so
It
we
really
live like
is.
5 minutes from Montgomery Mall. So that's
so
how
wild.
I know that area. Yeah.
I love
Off,
it.
off of Democracy
love it.
Boulevard. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
All right.
thank you, Will.
Hey, lots of connections. Let's do this. I'm
Tomorrow.
excited.
I'm calling you tomorrow. We'll get on with the right people to take the next steps. And Jim Still, hello, sir. Chairman, sign us off with your voice that I've listened to just as a voice for so long here the last couple of months, and I love it. Come on. Give me one for the road, Jim. Sign us off. Now he's shy. It's okay. Guys, it's been an honor and the greatest privilege of my lifetime to get to today. So I will
Congratulations.
thank you.
Congratulations. And congratulations.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Getting to this point of
Right?
our mission where we're all finally coming together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Will.
You know, my
That's
mother would
awesome.
say, it's better late than never.
Amen. Ralph. Amen. Sir.
Indeed.
She's 91 years old this year.
Wow.
Wow.
Quite the legacy.
Happy birthday.
She's in Boston.
Quite the legacy. If anyone tries to contact me, my phone's dead. I don't have a charger. I'm driving back to my house. And I'll be active between now and probably 8:30, if not sooner.
Okay. Have a good day, everybody. Be good. Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you,
All right, guys.
everybody.
Hey, thanks for the nice
Everybody.
call. Thank you. God bless.
Have a good one.
Bless.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Love you.
I love you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Well, let's connect soon, you and I. Okay.
Jamie,
course.
I'll
This
call you.
relief
You
thing.
guys gotta talk.
Let's just get the numbers changing around and everybody can connect. Let's set up a
Rasta, you and I, Rasta, I
Let's start
can't
a
wait for
talk, you know
you.
what I mean?
Hey, Rasta, check it out. You know, a lot of people have been saying a certain phrase to me. I am excited for you to get on with all of these people that have wanted to literally get behind this vision and say, show me the money.
Yeah.
Because I think today we just did that with the 3
Okay.
hours.
So let's get the work done and let's start the thing because my boys already got the properties and everybody's moving. You know what I mean?
Will, yes, please get him and David the veteran in touch with Todd or I.
Absolutely. I will connect that
Thank
together. 100%.
And I sent you a message on Instagram, Rasta Phil.
Yes, brother.
Rasta is the man. Thank you. Rasta and Jamie King, guys, were the two people that empowered me from an A-list level to put this together despite chaos. So God bless you both tremendously.
Bridget,
God bless
you know, we have a lot of stuff that we could really build. The content is amazing. And these guys are talking about AI. I got a lot of original content that, oh my God, if we put the AI with the original, it's going to blow things up in a good way and bring back all that old stuff that Mel and them have there, that old stuff, and redo a lot of that. Because these guys have a lot of technology in your camp.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's amazing. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Amazing. Really.
100%.
Because remember, I've been collecting content since I've been traveling the world with Mr. Warburg. You know the things I have?
Well, I know.
Holy.
They're on the whole IP list, the whole slate.
Great content with Mel and everybody involved too. Mel Gibson, everybody.
Yep.
Everything we have done. Post Malone.
And
That'll be
I was
fun
speaking
to
of which,
like to tell my story and go to Boston where all those legends came from, like New Edition, New Kids on the Block, the whole team.
100%. Hey,
Tell
Rasta,
the Rastafille story,
Rasta, I'm glad you-
with Mel and what we're doing. That's big. And then we get to travel and go on tour with it. And he's already calling me to go back with him. When you coming back, Rasta?
love you, Rasta. Rasta, we've got a call tomorrow. Jamie
Okay.
King, Robert Russler, and myself with a guy by the name of Steven. And it's about
Okay.
a project called the B Team that's connected to somebody you just mentioned. So I'll call you offline about that and we'll chat.
Okay.
And I'm still setting a
We have a
time.
lot of things to do, brother, especially a cannabis guy. Holy.
It is
Beat
go
it
time.
up here in Canada like you won't believe. Oh,
It is go time.
he's a legend up
It was
there.
on.
I love it.
Thank you all
Now
so
is
much.
the time. The time is now.
God bless
Okay,
you
yeah.
guys. Signing off.
God
Good
bless.
night.
You know my boy Norman said, don't wait, do it.
Yes, sir. Goodbye, everybody. I love you.
Goodbye.
all.
Bye.
One love,
Thank you.
brother.
Love you.
Bye,
Love you.
bye.
Love you guys.
Bye, guys. Where's the end button?
In a rather groundbreaking strategic partnership timed to its 115-year founders celebration, the Piney Woods School, which is the last remaining black boarding school in America, is teaming with Big Picture World, producer William Clevenger, who did RZA's Cutthroat City, and dozens of his partners on an educationally minded film and television studio in rural Mississippi. Clevenger's partners in the ambitious endeavor include Sidney L. Brocious, Larry Franco, David Womark, fashion icon / actress Jamie King, Grammy-winning poet Jay Ivey, Robert Russler, Todd Seligman, former ICM and CAA agent Joey Stanton, Hash Agency's Josh Berman, Jim Steele, Adam C. Stone, Rasta Phil, Becky Dladla, and the late TV producer Troy DeVold, plus Dean Hadley, who introduced Piney Woods to Big Picture World. Additional partners include architects Marlo LaFontaine, Whitney Sanders, Archer Stevenson, and Glenn Williams, as well as Melody Feliciano and members of Compton's Alondra Church of Christ, which will be involved on the educational side. Piney Woods will allow Big Picture World and its partners to build a backlot on its campus where students will be able to get hands-on experience working on the kinds of projects that align with the school's core values. Will Crossley, the president of Piney Woods and just the fifth to hold that position during the school's rich 115-year history, will be involved in the production of each project. The first film that will be produced at Piney Woods under its Big Picture World partnership will be announced on November 20th. Piney Woods has been educating black children since the height of the Jim Crow era, and the school has a rich history of investing in statistically and historically undervalued youth. Those investments can yield extraordinary results as 100% of Piney Woods graduates are offered admission to at least one college or university. Of course, once Piney Woods students work on indie projects that wish to film on its lush campus, there's the question of where that work will be seen, as distribution is still a tough nut to crack. As part of the announcement, Clevenger is teaming up with Sidney L. Brocious, David Womark, Bassem Sa, and the Piney Woods School on a streaming platform called Lucelle, with the goal of creating a sustainable revenue stream for the school. The platform will feature both licensed and original content, curated news, and even music videos, and there will also be a social engagement initiative via the Rainbow app. Now, the Lucelle board and leadership team includes Eric Binns, Paul Bunch, Bruce Chang, Brett Claywell, Tanya Cornelise, Chris Costello, Brandon Cox, Kameo Daniels, Gardy Darbuz, Todd Denkin, Billy Frank, Joshua Frazen, Jordan Frost, Michael Gold, Olive Power, Grant, Danny Hamilton, Sean Harner, Reverend Sam Harris, Joel Hebner, Zeke Hindle, Griffin Johnson, Barsoon YDB Jones, Jeremy Jordan Jones, Mike Callio, Graham K, Noah Lydiard, Sean Lydiard, Brandon McGee, Joshua Matriciana, William McClelland, Cyrus McGinnis, Chris Montgomery, Craig Nobles, Lynn Ouding, Dana Offenbach, Jim Phillips, McLean Pleasance, Phil Powell, Dean Provitt, Brian Rasmussen and Pedro Garcia, Carl Reed, R. Scott Reed, Daniel Roebuck, Gina Ruiz, Christine Scalfani, Michelle Sinez, Jeff Schiffman, Elliot Michael Smith, Lydia Stimson, Michael Vaughn, Carrie Von Slobum, Chase Tootin, John Tracy, Mimi Vengoetia, Tom Voris and Brian Drinkwine and Eric Michael Woods, plus Berman King, Rustler, Seligman, Stanton, Steele, Stone, Womark, and Jay Ivey. Lucelle will launch on February 13th, 2025 with a 5-day global impact benefit concert and telethon event called Big Picture World Love that will broadcast live from Clevenger's hometown of Ocala, Florida, and conclude on President's Day. The initial lineup of musical acts, comedians, athletes, entertainers, influencers, and humanitarians will be announced on Thanksgiving Day when venue details are announced and tickets go on sale. Proceeds will support veterans, victims of domestic abuse, those who have been affected by human trafficking, those experiencing homelessness, people with disabilities working in entertainment, medical treatment for children with infectious diseases, victims of this year's hurricanes, and the children and families affected by ongoing conflicts throughout the world. Now, key members of the Big Picture World and Piney Woods launch team include, but are not limited to, Moses Gross and CJ O'Connor of Malka Investment Trust, MMA superstar Tyron Woodley, comedians DeRay Davis and Mike Martino, NFL superstar Deshaun Jackson and Akella Witherspoon, actors Johnny Weston, Tim Daly, Denzel Whitaker, and Demetrius Shipp Jr., influencer/entrepreneur Andrew Batchelor, reality star Tamara Sepulveda, directors Darren Lynn Boozman, Stephen C. Miller, SNL alum Chris Redd, manager-producer Adam Goldworm, and Andrew Cutro and Markel Martin of 3.0 Labs, among dozens of others. There are also dozens of well-known individuals who support Big Picture World and backed its efforts to acquire Paramount via a special purpose vehicle called Project Rise Partners, which reportedly submitted a cash bid worth $13.5 billion for the legacy studio. Those individuals include Jim Steele, Jerry Easter Sr., directors Nick Cassavetes and Michael Hausman, producer John Schneider, who did The Hot Chick, and NBA legends Jermaine O'Neal and Meta World Peace, among many others.
Rolling.
Awesome. So we can add the beginning. So, okay. Hello, Big Picture World. I am film producer of Cutthroat City and many other titles, Will Clevenger.
Jay Ivey from Chicago, Grammy Award-winning poet.
Wanted to add, from Ocala, Florida.
John Tracy, documentary filmmaker and photographer from Los Angeles, California.
King Yo, independent recording artist from Los Angeles, California.
And we are in a room that's got a lot of history in it, with a lot of artists like those around me and beyond. And on behalf of my Big Picture Collective partners not present, Sydney L. Brocious, Denise Burkhart, Pete Rivera, and other Big Picture family, along with Piney Woods President and CEO, Mr. Will Crossley, and my brother Dean Hadley, who introduced Will and I. This is Big Picture World. The Dodgers just won the World Series.
Hey.
We can be reached at 310-968-9603. And I'd like to read a statement. Project Rise Partners issues open letter to Paramount shareholders. Dear Paramount shareholders, we are Project Rise Partners, a special purpose vehicle comprised of Malka Investment Trust and Rise Beyond LLC. We are a group of investors with backgrounds in entertainment, media, finance, technology, real estate, and hospitality who are committed to Paramount Global's future success and have formally offered Paramount $13.5 billion cash, which includes up to $5 billion debt restructuring, which we believe is far better for Paramount and shareholders than their current agreement with Skydance Media. We've included a summary in the below table, which demonstrates why our offer is significantly more favorable and fair to other shareholders when compared to the current Skydance agreement. This superior offer we have already presented is both well-financed and more beneficial to the shareholders because we recognize they are the ones who have built and sustained Paramount. Our offer rewards all stakeholders and ensures that your many different types of investments in the company are not just acknowledged, but rewarded. Our view is straightforward. Shareholders deserve a deal that reflects Paramount's true value, as well as fairness and transparency in the process. Our offer is backed by a robust set of investors with a specific emphasis on investing in Paramount's growth, while also providing shareholders a premium over recent market prices. We are confident that our offer not only surpasses other proposals, including the one from Skydance, but it also aligns with the long-term interests of Paramount, its employees, and you, its shareholders. Most importantly, we want to reiterate that we are dedicated to treating all shareholders fairly. Our proposal ensures that every investor receives favorable terms in a straightforward way. We believe that this approach honors the trust you have placed in Paramount and provides a path forward that delivers significant value to every shareholder. We look forward to engaging with you further and sharing the detailed financial terms of our offer. Thank you for your consideration, and we are confident that together, united, we can shape a prosperous future for Paramount Global. Sincerely, Project Rise Partners, care of Malka Investment Trust. Total cash consideration. Skydance offers $7.2 billion. Project Rise $13.5 billion. Delta plus 17%.
Sorry.
It's okay, box cutter. You know what? We're only doing one take of this, so don't worry about the coughing. I'm going to get back to the task at hand, which is we led a better offer. I literally, with my partners and family and people helping along the way, drove cross country to be led to Malka Investment Trust. This was not about me. It wasn't about him, or him. It was about the future of a legacy that has existed for 114 years, 1 year younger than our school in rural Mississippi. You got cough box cover? I gotta add some comedy. It's okay. That's how you find 13, 14, whatever, the $15 billion. It can keep going because we have the world behind a vision that was collectively built by all of us. My mentor, Larry Franco, I'm going a little they live style right now. Anything can happen when you get a group of people with one aligned vision in mind. So back to what I was reading, the table. Total cash consideration, Skydance offer, $7.2 billion, ours, 13.5, Delta plus 17%. Class A offer price, Skydance offer, shareholders, $23, ours, 24, Delta, plus 4.3%. Class B offer price, $15, ours, 16, plus 6.7%. Balance sheet infusion, $1.5 billion, theirs, $2 billion, including total cash, ours, Delta, plus 33%. Warrants dilution, 200 million warrants, ours, none. Debt restructuring package, theirs, none, ours, up to $5 billion, including total cash. Skydance share dilution, plus 317M shares, ours, none. Overall dilution, plus 615M new shares, ours, none. Dilution impact to existing Class B, 50+% dilution, ours, none. When a collective of artists, and not just the money, is involved, you get what Big Picture Collective is, Piney Wood School, Malka Investment Trust, and every single person on planet Earth that makes up what we have all built collectively together. It's a collective of artists. This is bigger than us. We are family. We are legacy producers. And it's all about protecting a legacy. And that's what we do. God bless. And Jay, Cameo, let's go a little West Coast. meets Little Chicago, lead a verse, and then Jay will close us out.
Hey man, I just keep it simple. No words, just listen. Everything that's going on, what needs to be said will be said, what needs to be shown will be shown. And I'll pass it over to my man Jay Ivy.
Yeah. You can't block your blessings. When they come your way, you gotta be ready to receive. You gotta shake off the fear and believe, because at times we're tested. Tested to see how strong we really are, how far we really go. There's an army growing, but you can't join unless you know what you're fighting for. Because if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything, so stand tall. Know that you can't walk until you crawl. You can't run until you walk. You can't fly without a running start. So pump your arms when you come off the blocks, and it won't do you no harm to come off your block. Get out and see the world, because everyone has their own mountaintop. It wasn't promised to a few, but promised to those who knew. So climb the way you breathe and never stop. Inhale your best. Exhale the BS. Keep on keeping on. See where you're going and work on getting there. Don't hate on others when others get theirs, because you go get yours. You gonna knock down your own doors. Know that God gonna take care of you and yours. That's why miracles happen out of the blue. So know that and remember that can't nobody stop you but you. Because dreams don't come true. They are true. So dream big. Then after that, dream even bigger. So big and Martin and Coretta are up in heaven holding hands, smiling down at us with a tear in their eye, and joy in their heart, saying amen, 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 amen.
As my mentor said, it's for the children. And if you want to find out about our school, look up Sacred Soil. It will explain everything. So all you got to do is watch and listen. God bless.
Hello, world. I want to make some introductions, starting from my right to my left. Mr. Walmark.
David Walmark, producer of Life of Pi.
I like to always add Oscar nominated.
I know, but it sounds crazy if I say it myself.
I know, but that's
You're
what I'm
editing
here
it
for.
down.
That's what I'm here for.
You'll throw that out.
Bruce Chang.
My
You
name
should
is Bruce
introduce
Chang.
everyone.
I was involved in the starting of Skull Candy, Uber, Lime Scooters, Postmates, and Stan Socks.
So we got the tech
Those are some
side
big
covered.
little brands.
Few small companies. Mr. Bina.
My name is Tommy Bina. I'm from this neighborhood, and it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Thank you, sir. And also, what are you involved with?
I manage a Canyon Country Store in Lower Canyon.
Quite the Hollywood legacy and history there. Mr. Alomar.
Fabian Alomar, a youth mentor at ARC, and an actor, and an ex-pro skateboarder and producer.
I don't know if it's like being in the military, right? Once a pro, always a pro, as far as skateboarding goes.
Yeah, kind of.
So, and my name is William Clevenger. People know me as a film producer. And this year I chose to evolve a little bit outside of that spectrum. And earlier this summer, I set out on a cross-country road trip by car due to not only limited funds, but also because I had to connect so many relationships that I had across the United States together in a vision for running a decentralized, from corporate Hollywood, transmedia, new film studio. I stopped along the way at each one of those places, ultimately leading to my home state of Florida, so I could sit down and have a dinner with the legendary Lee Kaplan and his partner Aaron McIntosh. Lee and the writer for my film, Cutthroat City, Paul Cuscieri, have controlled the trademark on a relatively well-known IP called Pulp Fiction for several years. Similar to what I did to lead Cutthroat City forward, I wanted the opportunity with Pulp Fiction due to not only RZA's relationship with him, but others that friends of mine have with Mr. Tarantino, and I felt I could be the person to unite a group together at the chance to get to make that IP, while also knowing that those rights were held at Paramount. From that meeting with Lee and Aaron and the vision that I wrote, which we are going to publish this weekend on the Big Picture World X page, upon having that meeting with Lee, I flew back to LA for a dinner that I arranged at Yamashiro's to bring about 40 people together, which Fabian and David were both at, to create a group to make an offer to acquire Paramount Global and the 45-day shopping window that Skydance left open. You know, that happened after they declined to partner with David and I on making McQueen. And ultimately, through that journey, over the last few months, I was led to Tommy Bina in Love Street. This was after we announced what we're doing at Piney Woods School, where we're launching our own streaming platform and having a benefit over 5 days for charity called Big Picture World Love. And then I got led to Love Street. So that dinner that we had at Yamashiro's resulted in me being introduced to CJ O'Connor of Malka Equities. And after meeting him, we formed the SPV group, Project Rise Partners, with his partner, Moses Gross. So, I went to Full Sail University, which was an accelerated film program that I was able to graduate from in 19. I always dreamed about creating that world for the next generation of artists when I struggled for 20 years. I've never got to make a studio movie. I've been kept out of the gates of Hollywood despite having literally, quite frankly, more relationships than anybody else that I know in this town. I'm also a human IMDb when it comes to dot connecting stuff together. Why I never got to make a studio movie, I don't know. So I decided to set off and build my own studio. And I found a place in rural Mississippi that oddly enough is actually older than Paramount. It's 115 years old. And we are building a movie studio there. And we are surrounded by the best and the brightest of the past, elongating those legacies into the present to create a sustainable future forever forward. And that's all that I want to do. I want to create a future that exists in a manner that I never got to live. So I brought my friends together today because I wanted to record an opening for an hour-and-a-half long Zoom call that the world is about to see for the first time, where we led a literal congregation forward for President Will Crossley of Piney Woods School to get the word out about the work that he's doing, but also what we want to do moving forward at Piney Woods. And the vision behind what we wanted to build at Piney Woods was the main vision that I had for pursuing Paramount Global in the first place, where I literally wanted to build a new Paramount on the grounds in rural Mississippi at that sacred heaven that is a school. And I want to read the letter that we released, which was an open letter to the Paramount shareholders that was published on October 25th. The Zoom call that you're about to watch took place on October 28th to celebrate the 115-year anniversary of Piney Woods School. And this is that letter. Dear Paramount shareholders, we are Project Rise Partners, a special purpose vehicle comprised of Malka Investment Trust and Rise Beyond LLC. We are a group of investors with backgrounds in entertainment media, finance, technology, real estate, and hospitality who are committed to Paramount Global's future success and have formally offered Paramount $13.5 billion cash, which includes up to $5 billion debt restructuring, which we believe is far better for Paramount and its shareholders than their current agreement with Skydance Media. We've included a summary in the below table, which the world can go and Google and read, which demonstrates why our offer is significantly more favorable and fair to the shareholders when compared to the current Skydance agreement. This superior offer, which we presented, is both well-balanced financially and more beneficial to the shareholders because we recognize they are the ones who have built and sustained Paramount. Our offer rewards all stakeholders and ensures that your many different type of investments in the company are not just acknowledged but rewarded. Our view is straightforward. Shareholders deserve a deal that reflects Paramount's true value, as well as fairness and transparency in the process. Our offer is backed by a robust set of investors with a specific emphasis on investing into Paramount's growth while also providing shareholders a premium over recent market prices. We are confident that our offer not only surpasses other proposals, including the one from Skydance, but it also aligns with the long-term interests of Paramount, its employees, and you, all of its shareholders. Most importantly, we want to reiterate that we are dedicated to treating all shareholders fairly. Our proposal ensures that every investor receives favorable terms in a straightforward way. We believe that this approach honors the trust you have placed in Paramount and provides a path forward that delivers significant value to every shareholder. We look forward to engaging with you further and sharing the detailed financial terms of our offer. Thank you for your consideration, and we are confident that together we can shape a prosperous future for Paramount Global. Sincerely, Project Rise Partners, care of Malka Investment Trust. I set out to build a studio in Mississippi, and by going down the path that I went down, it also allowed me to build a film studio in La Paz, Mexico, where we have acquired and have coastal land in La Paz to not only build a movie studio, but a casino, a hospital, and a world-class boutique health and wellness resort. And you want to know one way to eliminate $12 billion worth of debt? By taking all that glorious IP and not only creating a Broadway legacy, which I can do with my 4-time Tony-winning partner, Bruce D. Long, who won Best Musical for Memphis, the musical, amongst other things. But when you build a casino owned by a film studio, everybody likes to gamble. So when you take literally as above, so below, and everyone goes and pursues hedonistic lifestyles and desires in Mexico, it benefits not only the next generation of children in Mississippi, because Piney Woods also owns said casino that we will be building, but most importantly, it eliminates $12 billion worth of debt.
It's 2025. We're in an era of self-publishing. The Big Picture Collective is the hub for self-publishing in all medias. And it's going to be super exciting. Come see us.
Why do you believe in Will?
Why? Have you
See,
met
I can't
him?
ask those questions myself.
Have you met him?
Yeah.
I met this guy
Oh, wait, it's not.
when he
Oh,
first
yeah, this-
started the Big Picture, and instantly hit it off. I was like, I believe in this guy. We got a project together, set that one up, and we constantly got the same energy, working on projects all day. He never stops, and he doesn't stop believing in himself. So people that believe in themselves, it's easy to believe in. Thank you.
Brian.
Yeah. Oh,
what'd you think?
I thought it was the best night ever, man. Best night ever, and this is just the beginning. He's the man.
I love you.
Why do you believe in Will?
Well, from the moment I first met Will, I could see that he had like a really intense passion, and he was really passionate and really believed in everything he did and does now. But yeah, I guess I just always like thought that he has it in him, you know. He just has it in him. He has that spark, that flame, that fire that's gonna get shit done and make shit happen.
So what do you think about all this?
Just what an awesome time it was, and to finish with you and the food and the people, and I've met some wonderful contacts, and I look forward to just continuing the relationship with you and all the wonderful people you've introduced me to. So I appreciate it, and just I appreciate things and to have a moment where I can reflect and just appreciate the blessings that I've been given, and then meet other people that have also done that. It's just a very special moment.
God bless, bro.
Okay.
Thank you,
Talk
man.
soon.
I met Will 21 years ago. Will was a kid. He was a fresh-faced kid out of Full Sail. He was out here. He had started as a PA, worked his way up to a casting associate, and then was casting director in what, a year?
I cast you in a movie.
He cast me in my very first film 20 years ago.
Wow.
Since then we did 4 after that. Had a gap, and now we're here. We're taking over Hollywood. This guy's on it. This guy's on it, and we are fucking rocking this.
Hey guys,
everybody.
My name's Ryan McCauley, and first time meeting a lot of the folks here, but I had a great night. The energy here was really uncomparable, and a compliment of the amazing view we have here of Hollywood. But it's great to be a part of what's going on here and seeing all these great people, and to see everybody putting their resources together to create something special. So
thank you, brother.
Great.
Thank you.
My name's Fabian Alomar, and I'm inspired by Will from day one, meeting him at my friend's art studio. The words he was telling me was motivational, and I love that. Coming from where I come from, it means everything. For me, I see him as a leader and an inspiration for everyone. And I've been friends with him. I know how he is. I know his true heart. And Will is a great guy. He's always been there for me, and I've been there for him. We've become best friends, and I love the guy. I love what he does. I love what he stands for, and I love what he's doing with everyone, leading us all to the right place. And I love what I love what he just stands for. Period. You know, Will is a great guy and my brother.
Hi guys, I'm here with Will, and you know what they say, where there's a will, there's a way, and that's just a fact. I've not met anyone who is so more mercurial and magical and has so many friends from so many walks of life and is able to pull together in a night and unify so much talent and will. Basically, we're here for willpower. And the fact is that a rapper basically took the name before, but Will.I.Am, Will.I.Am says it all. So, Will, I'm honored. Thank you. And let your vision come to pass. As above, so below, and may the human condition find a home and representation with this project that we all pray comes to fruition. Okay? Because we need human beings to stay human and not become artificial. Okay? Authentic intelligence.